What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It's Friday, July 24, 2026, and we are back at the Polderbaan. In use for arrivals as 18 right. You can see the excrement bridge is still there, and the first airplanes on the glide slope are descending. Very good morning to all who joined already. Hope you're doing well. This is KLM flight 676 arriving from Edmonton, Canada. I hope that the audio is good. Let me know how the ambient is, if it is too loud or too low. Looking to the audio levels on my camera, it looks like the ambient might be a tad on the low side. So what do things look like over here? Well, the fences have been removed, but so too has the grass. It needs to grow back. So we're standing in a pile of sand. Right behind me we have a field of wheat. Won't be long before it's going to be harvested. You can see that it's already hanging. Most of it is hanging. So savor the moment, because this field of wheat will soon get harvested. Lovely to see, beautiful color. Over here, the canal. Haven't seen any aquatic birds yet. There's little to no wind, which you can see by the verticality in the scale of chimney smoke. Next arrival, Turkish flight 1951, arriving from Istanbul, Turkey, A330-300. See that the my phone screen went off, and now my chat isn't updating to the latest messages. I do see that Buddy was there and was commenting that maybe the ambient was a tad on the low side. I forgot what the setting on my camera was for the ambient over here for arrivals. Probably a bit higher, probably either here. I think this will probably be more in line with what it always used to be. More wide bodies coming in. Gorgeous glide slope shots. Hope Captain Jerry will also be joining today. Let me see if I can get the... Oh, shoot, no. Live chat back to the end in a legible size. Yes, I think I've got it. Don't change anything. Marja, again, goedenavond. Good to see you again. Liewe, goedemorgen, kerel. Good to see you too. Hope you both are doing well. Welcome to the show, everybody else. I already saw Buddy. Richard, goedemorgen. Jayodi, Ronnie. Here for the green. Jannes, Erik, Marijke, Vero. Was Hans here as well? Probably so. Sanne was already there. Goedemorgen. Good morning, one and all. This is KLM flight 736, arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao, 777-300. How's the ambient now? What we actually need is a Delta A330 that uses the reversers. That's the litmus test. We need to make sure that that is audible without clipping. That's the sweet spot. That will be the loudest thing we'll probably be hearing here in the stream today. Hey, Wolfgang, also back in the chat. Good morning. Stranger, good morning. Kas Gaming, good morning. And Hans is there as well. Good morning, Hans. JW Slijm, goedemorgen. Metin Freddo, goedemorgen. Good morning. Let me turn back. Delta Airlines Flight 56 is coming up. Well, big picture overview. The West. And... oh, there's a hair over there as well. Can I show you? Let me turn around the camera. So that I don't stand in the way of the camera cables. I'm not sure. I think the camera is a bit lower than I am standing. Maybe if he's going a bit further. Yeah. Think that the reeds between this field of wheat and the already harvested field of wheat is in the way. But there was a hare walking quite clearly visible, at least for me. My camera is positioned 20 or so centimeters lower and then where I am looking, I should say. Delta Airlines Flight 56, arriving from Salt Lake City. A330neo. Honda, goedemorgen. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. Officer Noordus, goedemorgen. Officer Noordus tuning in from Almelo. How's the weather over there? Is it similar to what it is over here? Interestingly, they're using 09 now for departures as secondary runway, together with runway 24. Quite interesting. That ought to come close to the clipping point. Here on the camera the audio levels weren't clipping. But that doesn't mean that in the software I'm using and the switcher software that it didn't clip. How was the audio just now? If it didn't clip, I think we're probably at the sweet spot, because a bit higher, a bit more volume and it would have clipped on the camera already. Hey Jinshin, aloha mate. Richard Smit, goedemorgen. And in Almelo the weather is similar. As you can see, there's hardly any wind. The windsock is totally flaccid. The scale of chimney smoke is going up directly. Every now and then something that resembles a slight breeze. Audio okay. Perfect. Alan, good morning, mate. Welcome back. Right. The next airplane is over there. It is another wide body. It's KLM Flight 592, arriving from Johannesburg in South Africa. We do have a ceiling, but again, like yesterday, around 4,000 feet. Let's do a quick look. A visualization of the weather report, the meter, and let me turn the camera just a little bit to the side so that we can continue to see the triple in the background. Here you can see the weather. There is varying wind. If there is wind, it's 2 knots, but it can be from all directions. The most important thing to see is that we have a ceiling at 4,400 feet, which means that the clouds will form a nice backdrop against the glide slope, and we should be able to see everything from afar, since every airplane arriving and turning final will already be well below 4,400 feet. We have a 747 in Dutch airspace already, arriving from Hong Kong, should be here in 10 minutes, Cathay Cargo. We have more interesting stuff underway. Transavia Retro is coming to Amsterdam, is flying underway from Faro and should be here around 11:30. KLM Orange Pride is returning from Lima in Peru, also underway, approaching the coastline of Portugal, the Iberian Peninsula, should be here shortly before noon. Singapore is underway from LAX and should be here right at around noon, or well, 12 to 15 minutes past noon. This will be interesting. Earlier when I checked, its ETA was 1:01, now it's 1:05. Yesterday it picked up more time and it got more delayed, but it can also work the other way around. We've seen that before numerous times, so whether or not it's going to land here or on the center runway, which I expect will be the secondary runway for arrivals, we'll have to see, but we'll find out soon enough. Time flies, as do the airplanes. So if you don't have to be anywhere, sit back and relax. Don't forget to drop a like if you are enjoying the show thus far, if you want to help this channel grow. KLM Flight 592, arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa. 10 hours, 33 minutes on the way. The PHBVS Bravo Victor Sierra. 9 years old, first flight February 2017. And The next airplane after that will be yet another 777. Its flying base shall be arriving from the west. Emirates Sky Cargo arriving from Aguadilla. Jolande, goedemorgen. Hans, goedemorgen. Matt, goedemorgen. Since I arrived here, I haven't seen the firefighters yet, so we might be in for a surprise visit. Haven't seen or heard any movement yet from the fire station. It's still there, like before. Is that a bus? It is a touring a bus over there. Interesting. Yeah, so things are still the way they were. Even though it has been a while since we've last visited this location, I think months. Big picture, you can see that the metal pipes are still here, but what I think is that they did dig in the plastic pipes that were laying behind the fences. The fences have gone, the pipes have gone, they're probably buried under this now field of sand. The excrement bridge at the roundabout is still there, and so too is the excrement bridge over here. Grass on the other side and sand over here on this side, and a nice field of wheat. Have a look. Gorgeous color, particularly if the sun is shining on it. You can see it's already bending. That's a clear indication of almost ripe to harvest wheat. Here is the Emirates Sky Cargo 777, and I'm happy to say more wide bodies are approaching. The 747 is flying on an extended base leg and is coming in from the east. I'm looking to see if I can spot it already. I think it might still be a tad too far out. It's flying towards Purmerend, which should be in line with the scale of chimney smoke chimneys. So I'm looking a bit to the right of the chimney smoke right now to see if I can recognize the contours of a 747 approaching. Now, the Cathay livery is pretty white, and against the current backdrop, it will probably be a bit harder to stand out. I'm not sure if the current weather helps to make it more easily identifiable or if it makes it harder. I'm fearing for the latter. In the meantime, a very good morning to all who joined. Theo, goedemorgen. Arno, goedemorgen. DNKHA, DNKHA, goedemorgen. Herzlich willkommen. Daily Dose of Aviation, goedemorgen. Good morning. Ruben, goedemorgen. Leveled, good morning. Goedemorgen. Floris, goedemorgen. Not sure if I already said hi. I'm hearing propellers, and I am seeing a Dash 8 100 Coast Guard going out towards the coast. Who would have thought? Coast Guard guarding the coast. What? Incroyable. Meanwhile, Emirates Sky Cargo is approaching the threshold, and I'm still looking to the right to see if I can spot a glimpse of the 747 approaching. Haven't found it yet. It's good at hiding. I fear that the clouds are helping to make it more hard to see. Might well be that it's even above 4,000 feet still and above the ceiling. I didn't check that on Flight Radar. Ralph, goedemorgen kerel. Good to see you again. Alper Aviation, good morning, goedemorgen. Michael, good morning, goedemorgen. Peter, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. Elba, goedemorgen. Pierre, goedemorgen. Good morning. Now this year, the entire continent of Europe has been very warm on generally speaking on average, and also very arid, very dry. And here in the Netherlands, particularly in the southwestern half, that also applies, which made it all the more striking when I saw that the water level here in the canal is pretty high, higher than it used to be. If you look at the boards, unless they have sunken, but I think it's the water level that has risen. Quite surprising. I would have thought it would have been lower than before, but it's actually looking to be higher. Well, the 747 is about to turn final somewhere in the north. Question is, where? I fear that maybe the clouds are in the way a little. Or I really need to start getting used to being back at the Polderbaan and where to find the airplanes. Because it's not visible, the 747, both higher and lower than the triple that we are already seeing. No, not triple, Dreamliner. This is United Airlines Flight 968, arriving from San Francisco. 7879 Dreamliner, standard livery, unlike yesterday, with the SAF sticker. Ah, there's the 747. So there you go, the clouds were in the way. The clouds were in the way. But check out this glide slope shot. Where is Captain Jerry? We need to summon him. Captain Jerry, Captain Jerry, Captain Jerry. Where art thou? Hans, goedemorgen. More Hanses. That's the third Hans I think I counted in the chat. We need to number you guys. Good morning, mate. 77773 is tuning in from the Philippines. Good morning and thank you for the kind words, mate. Much appreciated. I do the best I can. Happy to hear you're appreciative of what I am doing here. Philip, goedemorgen, kerel. Me, myself, good morning. John, good evening, mate. What is up? Well, hopefully not my blood pressure or my cholesterol. Hope that also goes for you. What is up? My mood. I'm happy to be back. Even though coming here on a regular basis becomes boring. It's been months and I'm happy to be back, at least over here at this site, more to the south to where I went once. Will be interesting to see how long it takes before the grass over here is going to be fully back. Didn't take that long on the other side, and with the current ground temperatures, I think with a bit of rain, if there will be some rain on Sunday, might well be that the first bits of green will become apparent next week already. 9 hours and 22 minutes. This airplane has flown from San Francisco to Amsterdam and now it has landed here. Hailing from January 2016. Unambiguously used its reversers full thrust. How was the audio? Did it clip? Do I need to lower the ambient? Because that will be a good reference point if it was within reason and you didn't hear any overdrive, any clipping, then the audio is probably optimized. Cathay Cargo up next, ladies and gentlemen, arriving from Hong Kong, flight 3031. It's a 747-8. Check it out. Absolutely lovely. Bit of audio clipping set leveled. Right, I'll lower it ever so slightly. 0.5 mil down on the knob on my camera, which is pretty sensitive. It should make a difference and hopefully it will be enough so that it will stay loud but not too loud. Good morning, Juna. Robert, good morning. Leo, goedemorgen. Nielso, good morning. Marco, goedemorgen. Jolanda, goedemorgen. Alright. Cathay Cargo, 12 hours, 32 minutes on the way, ladies and gentlemen. The Bravo Lima Juliet Kilo, 12 years old, first flight November 2013. Let's look and listen. I wonder if it will be as loud as the Dreamliner before it. That was already quite loud. and will be hard to match. That Dreamliner was no match for the 7478. My audio went into the red over here on the camera. That definitely must have clipped. That was louder than the landing before it. Right, I think I might have to drop the ambient audio another slight bit. There we go. Jesus, that was loud here in real life as well. It's a good thing I'm already deaf, because otherwise I would have gone deaf. Being exposed to this, well, it's not just the intensity, it's also the duration of the exposure, of course, and the duration is relatively briefly. Hey Roy, goedemorgen. Gilberto, ciao. Good to see you, mate. Jennifer, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Right. We have a 737 flying base on a relatively short approach to the runway, and I think above the just to the right of the solar panel we can see it already. There it is. Gear is already out. It's going to be number 2. KLM flight 1402, arriving from Paris, 737-700. Before it over here we are seeing a KLM Embraer arriving from Prague, where Wolfgang is currently vacationing. Flixaf says, "What did you say? I can't hear you." Also, a membership anniversary by Wouter Bot just now. He has a green badge now. Congratulations, celebrating it with a quad engine. Keep it up, boy, he writes. Wouter, thank you so much for your long-lasting support. Congratulations on getting the green badge. I hope that the first year in the lounge has been to your satisfaction and still is. If that isn't the case or no longer is the case, do let me know what you feel needs to be changed, and I'll see what I can do to make it better for you and all the other members. Wouter Bot, now with a green badge. Congratulations and thank you for the support, my friend. I'll try to keep it up the best I can. First officer's hand, once again, on that sticky edge of the control panel, where they all keep their sticky, sweaty hands. I really wonder how clean it is cleaned by the interior, the cleaning crew. Bird control over here, and now on final the 737 that we saw turning in, with in its wake the next wide body already visible. That's KLM flight 668, arriving from Austin in Texas, and I also see a Pilatus PC-24 that seems to be en route to Polderbaan. If we were to land here, obviously it would be a long taxi for the airplane, but it would be terrific for us to see. Sunny in South Tyrol, perfect, mate. Enjoy the weather. I had a look on the webcams the other day to see what it was like in Val Gardena and Val di Fassa. Looks gorgeous. If I didn't have to take care of my cat, which restricts me from vacationing, I definitely am planning to go there for some hiking or maybe some cycling in the summer one day as well. Gorgeous part of the world, South Tyrol. Well, technically speaking, Val di Fassa is Trentino, but Departure for runway 24. I think I'm standing a bit closer to the parking lot than I used. Well, it's obviously closer to the parking lot than standing on the north side of the excrement bridge. But I just realized when seeing that airplane climbing that the trees of the forest here right on the other side of the parking lot are a bit in the way of seeing the climb out. Oh, that bird dove into the water. Was trying to catch something. Didn't seem to have succeeded. Doesn't seem to have succeeded. Where is the Pilates? What altitude is it flying on? It should be right behind me. Jetfly on demand. It's that gorgeous one with that orangey stripe. It's flying below the ceiling, so oh yeah, no, that's a bird. Thought I saw it, but I don't. Let's not miss out on the landing of the triple over here. KLM flight 668, arriving from Austin, Texas. 8 hours 44 minutes. The flight has lasted. 20 years old, heading from April in 2006. Typical KLM. Typical KLM. We open those things, but we're not going to spool up the engines. Wear, fuel consumption, noise. Don't want that. Let's just roll out. Slight drizzly droplets are falling from the cloud I'm under. Doesn't amount to anything substantial. You can see it in the water. If I zoom in just a little, it will blow over rather quickly. I was surprised to see that the rooftop of the sheds in my street were wet. So too, my car seemed to have gotten wet overnight. Didn't know there was going to be any rain. It is still seriously dry over here, which is why all the farmers are watering. The crops need their water, and nature isn't going to provide enough, so you'll see that everywhere in the vicinity over here. Good morning, Cheyenne. Welcome back. Robert, good morning. Goedemorgen. Jesse, goedemorgen. Good morning. Jillard, goedemorgen, kerel. And Jillard is confirming that the Pilatus will be landing on the Polderbaan. That's nice. I do see the first aquatic bird of the day in the canal over here. And who is it? It's Daisy. What? I would have thought the first bird we were going to see would be Chris Coot, but guess again. It's Daisy Duck. Up early already. Oh. What? You spotted her before me? Somebody stole my thunder. There's Chris Coot, all right. Well, those ramps that they have put in the canal are certainly unnecessary today. No problem getting on to land for any of the aquatic birds right now with the high water level, which I still find surprising to see. And the bird that dove into the canal just now is still hunting, looking for fish or, I don't know, frogs perhaps? Did it catch something? I don't think it did. Nope. Or, nah. Or did it already eat it? Nah. I think it didn't catch anything. But it was nice to see its attempt. Silver lining of having little to no wind is that even though it is currently drizzly, thus far the camera lens doesn't seem to have gotten wet yet. We have another wide body here on final, and if I zoom in a little bit more, you can see it is an A330. Beautiful backdrop. It's Air China Cargo flight 3159. It will be followed by the Pilatus by the looks of it. Hey, check it out. Mupsy, aka Jeff, is also back. Good morning, Jeff. Welcome back, mate. And welcome back to the Polderbaan. Air China Cargo, 3159, arriving from Chengdu in China. 10 hours and 6 minutes on the way. The Bravo 6093, 18 years old already. First flight November 2007. Alright, according to Flight Radar, that Pilatus should be turning final in the background. And trying to see if I can spot it already. It's such a small machine that if it doesn't have its landing lights on already, I think it will be very hard to spot. Provided that it is visible already from here. I'm not sure that it is. Wasn't able to spot it as it passed by me, behind me, on its downwind leg. I love how a lot of people are writing Polderbaan B-A-H-N as if it was the German way of spelling it. In Dutch it's B-double-A-N. But the Germans do write B-A-H-N. Bada bing, bada boom. A very warm welcome to everybody who has joined. In the meantime, you're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is Polderbaan, runway 18 right. Primary runway for arrivals. 2 runways are in use for departures right now. One is 09, interestingly, with departures directly to the east. And the other being runway 24, the Kaagbaan, where we were yesterday, with departures to the southwest. KLM Dreamliner taking off, or just now having taken off from that runway. As you can see, the fences are gone, but so too is the grass. Over here it is now pretty sandy. The Dutch are known for their weed, and we have a field of wheat over here. And as you can see, they're already bending over, which means they are near ready to be harvested. Probably be gone in a week or so from now. This is looking directly to the west, and to the west of where we are, not too far away as the crow flies, as the crows fly, we have the Gulf of Yorkshire, or as some still call it, the North Sea. And over there it is more open. Turning the camera to the south, we can see more cloudiness. Turning the camera to the east, we can see, well, the sun is behind the clouds. It's also cloudy. And the north doesn't look different. The clouds are forming a ceiling at around 4,000 feet, so the glide slope visibility should be good. We have the Pilatus PC-24 visible right now. The airplane behind it, too. Which one is that? Another busiest? No, it's an SAS CRJ. Excellent. Already early in the show, the first CRJ of the show. Nice combo shot. If you guys are enjoying the show, don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. It will help to bring in more people in the future. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. No such thing as a stupid question, and people here will happily try to answer any questions you may be having. Gary Grebe has also returned. There he is. Have a look at him. So slowly but surely, you're all coming back to say hi. Here is a Pilatus PC-24 returning from LTT, or Saint-Tropez, La Di-Da. Jetfly on demand. The flight has lasted 1 hour and 51 minutes. Registered in Luxembourg, LXPCG, Papa Charlie Golf. This airplane is 4 years old and is from August 2021. K1, photo bombing.
Oh, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
And a lovely butt shot. Do we still have that emoji? Almost near full axis butt shot. It is a bit off axis. I'm standing too far to the parking place of the Spottersplaats, the official Spottersplaats. World Flag Corendon A350 in the background. That's nice. I can see you, says Sander Shinobi. I can see you too, buddy. There he is already. My man, Sander Shinobi. CRJ, SAS. Awesome. Looks a bit like the BizJet, just on steroids. Ooh, lovely. Up close and personal. Howdy Gerrit, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Yeah, I already found the Polderbaan. How was it yesterday? Hope you had wind. I hope you had tailwind on your way back, because it was pretty windy yesterday, unlike today. Alright, the landings are continuing. KLM flight 1772 arriving from Berlin. Embraer 190, there we go. After that, the Lufthansa A319. Goedemorgen, meneer Suke.
What's up, people? Man, I thought that Cathay would have missed that thing, but apparently not.
You were in time? Were you already at the parking lot over here, or? Yeah, yesterday we had one coming from Paris, a bonus queen, but this one was already on the way from Hong Kong. Also, another one that we don't get to see that often is Singapore later in the show. And I see that Jillard Kraak is celebrating 14 months of membership. Op naar de volgende 14 maanden, which means on to the next 14 months in Dutch. Jillard, gefeliciteerd. Thank you so much. Congratulations. And thank you so much. Dankjewel for your long-lasting support. It was a pleasure to have met you in person that one time when your daughter was also with you when you were here at the Polderbaan. Hope you guys are coming back sometime soon. If you are in the vicinity, do come over and say hi. Always gezellig when you are in the chat. And I hope to see you again in real life sometime soon. Congratulations on 14 months. I hope that everything in the lounge is still to your satisfaction, and if that isn't the case, do let me know what you feel needs to be changed and I'll see what I can do to make it better. The landings are continuing. This is Lufthansa in the old livery, which I personally love better than the white blue newer version. It has a cabin in the back. Very spacious one actually. No windows, but who needs windows if you have privacy? Let's turn back quickly, because now we have 3 consecutive wide bodies on arrival. Here we go. Sure hope Captain Jerry will be able to find the stream today, because these are the glide slope shots he loves so much. German Monster, good morning. Tuning in aus Berlin. How's the weather over there in Berlin? Hopefully not too warm. Dutch football, good morning. Mark, goedemorgen. Mark Laanstein also back from The Hague. The Hague represent. Alright, Qatar up next, arriving from Doha. 777 freighter, Flight 8201, Qatar Cargo, no less. The Alpha 7 BFW Bravo Foxtrot Whiskey. 6 hours and 50 minutes on the way. 6 years old, first flight July 2020. I see that the tripod head is no longer level. That's what you get with the sand over here. Probably one of the legs having dropped a few millimeters. And you can see it on the spirit level. Former KLM pilot, question mark? That's a very KLM-ish landing. And the reverse. Telganor, good morning, mister. Good morning to you too. And welcome. Welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined in the meantime as well. You're still watching AMS Live. My name is Bully and we are here at the Polderbaan with little to no wind. So no crabby arrivals, but it will get autumn soon enough, and we'll probably get some crosswindy arrivals here later in the year. Sooner than we think, undoubtedly. Bottle back, Mr. Blue Sky, good morning. Marcel, goedemorgen, and welcome to the show, everybody else. Super time at the Polderbaan, right Scherrit. I'm happy to hear that. Around 4 o'clock there were 2 747s with a very short rotation. Nice. Awesome, mate. Gerrit, when I was walking back to my car, I passed a car and one of the kids who were with us and who were trying to get to the Alsmeerbaan in time to see the A380 yesterday. Upon passing, he did shout to me that they did manage to get there in time. We were wondering, we were thinking, well, if they go on bicycle and they only have 20 or so minutes, will they make it in time? Turns out that they did, they have. Found it surprising, but good on them. They must have cycled really hard then. I don't think they were electric bikes that they had. So cycling from the Kaagbaan where I was yesterday to the quote-unquote Spottersplaats at.
Yeah, that's.
They probably went to the closest buy point, which is probably where the fuel tanks are on the west side. That's probably the closest buy. If I were them, I would have gone there at least. That's the quick. That's. But still, it was pretty windy too. Well, where there's a will, there's a way. More wide bodies. Hope you're not growing tired of them yet, because after this we have yet another wide body. This is KLM Flight 644, arrived from New York, JFK 78710, 6 hours 10 minutes on the way. That's less than the Emirates A380 takes to get from Dubai to Amsterdam these days. Used to be around 6.5, now it's averaging around 7 to 7.5 hours. Flap inspection, looks good. It's interesting how the Dreamliner's flaps are considerably smaller than, for instance, the flaps on the 777-300s, well, 777s period. Those seem to extend much further down from the main wing than on the Dreamliner, for instance. It's a significant difference. If you look at the next airplane, for instance, the 777-300, arrived from Cape Town in South Africa, you will see that the flaps, when they have set full flaps, are much lower. They're almost at 90 degrees of the angle of the wing. And also they extend out much further. Jasper, goedemorgen. Marcel, goedemorgen. And Bottleback 6677 aka Mr. Blue Sky, celebrating 33 months of membership. No accompanying text along with a highlighted message, unfortunately, but that's okay. Congratulations on 33 months, mate. I hope that everything in the lounge is still to your satisfaction. If not, then do let me know what you feel needs to change, and I'll see what I can do to make it better for you and all the other members. Always a pleasure to have you in our midst. I hope you'll keep coming back for a long time to come. Congratulations and thank you so much, Mr. Blue Sky. The PHBVD. It used to be Marissa's beloved. This is an airplane that used to be in the SkyTeam livery until somewhere last year. Hey Maxime, goedemorgen. Good to see you again, mate. Polderbaan back on the menu it is, definitely. And interestingly, with departures now also taking place from 09 in addition to runway 24, the Kaagbaan. Rob Lerb is also back in the chat, and as is Mike Wild. Good morning, guys. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, this is what Polderbaan currently looks like. The fences are gone. The plastic or whatever material it was, those replacement tubes are probably dug into the ground over here. The temporary tubes, the metal ones, are still here, as is the excrement bridge. Those will probably be removed only later in the year. Now over here we have a field of wheat, and if I go to the autofocus so that it gets sharp, you'll see they're already hanging, almost all of them. Clear indication that they're ready to be harvested, so it won't be long before that will happen. And over there we have corn, which have yet to ripen. Always lovely to see all the agricultural things taking place here. Bombardier C-Series 300 A220. This is Croatia Airlines Flight 450 arriving from Zagreb. Jurgo, goedemorgen. And thank you for the kind words. Arjan, goedemorgen. Arjan wonders, where is Cape Town? That's in South Africa. Good morning, German Monster. Good morning, Lucas. Good morning, Paul. Welcome back, mate. And welcome back to the Polderbaan, buddy. Well, Polderbaan is open again, and you can see it's also getting visitors, cyclists, pedestrians. Also, on the other side, I sent pictures to pilot Sander, who returned to the Netherlands last weekend, and he already replied, and with pictures of his own. He was here yesterday, so he already found the Polderbaan. Now we have 3 airplanes on the glide slope. The landing lights are on already, and that makes it very easy for us to see where they are already. This is KLM Flight 1268 arrived from Cape Town, no, not Cape Town, Copenhagen, an A321neo. Flight time has been an hour, which is nominal. Faxa, PHAXA, the first of the A321neos. Already a year old, first flight July 2024. Means it's going to turn 2 somewhere in this month. Obviously comes equipped with a carrying cabin, nicely in the back, with a lot of spatial separation between her and the pilots. Martin also back in the chat. Good morning, mate. Welcome back. And welcome back to the Polderbaan. Off-axis butt shots. And again, to the right, the Word to Fly could run on A350. Word to Fly. Don't say what the fuck. Work to fly. BA coming in from London Heathrow. And you might be wondering, London? Yes, London.
You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
BA comes to Schiphol in two flavors, A320 family or Embraer 190, Embraer 190s. The Embraer 190s always come from London City, and the A320s only fly to and from London Heathrow. Yassine, goedemorgen. Gineke, goedemorgen. Danny, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. Next up, Lufthansa, flight 988, arriving from Frankfurt, A320neo. It is 10:33, so I am expecting the secondary runway, which probably will be the center runway, to open up in less than 10 minutes from now. Digital zoom. Magnification of pixels. Going back a bit. This is still with digital zoom enabled. Top end of optical zoom of this camera is over here. No Karen cabin in the back. No hand on the control desk. K1 is parked nicely over there. Front row seat in the field of flowers. Not sure what species this is, but it's in bloom everywhere, flowering everywhere. Wind has picked up a tad. We do have a bit more movement in the scale of chimney smoke, as you can see, and also the windmills in the background have begun spinning ever so slightly. It's still mostly cloudy over here, although the sun does seem to be peeking through a few openings here and there. Flight radar says that the next airplane arriving here should be an Embraer 175. Well, it's clearly not seeing this one. Looks Transavia. Am I the only one who is not seeing this airplane? It's probably not, it doesn't have Amsterdam as destination, probably an A or question mark. Or is this an airplane returning? Was this originally outbound and has it come back? Ah, diverted on its way to Cairo. There you go. Diversion. That explains why I didn't see it on flight radar. I only have inbound AMS filtered, so it's still set to where it was supposed to go to. Did it depart from Schiphol or did it depart from Eindhoven or Rotterdam? Pajak is tuning in from Gdansk in Poland. Greetings back, mate. Welcome to the channel.
Really took off like from Buitenveld.
Oh, took off from Schiphol from the Polderbaan. There you go. Yassine says that the airplane from Nador is almost there, and he is in Nador right now. Awesome. Yeah, it's next after this, which is the Embraer 175 that I was already seeing on flight radar. It's returning from Geneva in Switzerland, KLM flight 1930. And it took off at 10:12, so didn't come far then. Has anybody been listening to ATC, and has anybody picked up what the reason for the diversion is? Technical, medical? Did somebody forget their passport? No hand on the control panel. First officer just looking forward. Two airplanes on the glide slope, and it looks a little like the first airplane is crabbing. Looks like there is a little bit of westerly wind. If you look at the nose of the first airplane, it seems to be directed to its right, ever so slightly. Yeah, you're right, the other one is too. Although the first one is more pronounced. Or at least you see it a bit better because it's just closer by and bigger. Right, slight crab. Air Arabia Morocco arrived from Nador. As Yassine was already predicting, an A320. Nador, of course, in Morocco in the north of. Danny says that the Karen told the pilot she is allergic to pyramids. Whoa! I think I think Sander fell onto the ground. His foldable seat folded.
Wow.
How many kilograms was it rated for?
200?
200?
Yeah. Probably 200 minus.
Whoa! Have you been on the scale recently?
No.
Jesus. Are you okay? You didn't hurt yourself? Cool. Yeah. Just his pride.
Oh, that'd be fucked up.
Aww. Well, at least you didn't take the camera with you in your fall. I'm happy that you didn't have the strap attached to your neck.
Yeah.
That would have been. Oh well. Now we can also have a look on the inside of one of these foldable seats.
Don't buy these.
Don't buy them, unless you are a featherweight.
Or not sitting on them.
Well, the terrain over here is not yet very solid, so it was a relatively soft landing. All right, here we have El Al. El Alpha 337 returning from Tel Aviv. Whenever El Al is landing, I'm always looking to the bottom of the fuselage to see if we can see any anti-missile systems or whatever they are. On some we've seen them on occasion. Not sure if they all come equipped with them, if it is retractable or not, but more people and more doggos being walked over here. Super cute. Nice fluff ball. More fluff balls over there. It's a good thing cat owners didn't bring their cats, because it looks like a giant litter box over here, actually. Mark wonders if Sander used the reverses during the landing. That is a good question.
Probably did.
Stopped right in his tracks. All right, KM Malta up next, arriving from Malta, flight 394, A320neo. Maria says, Sander wanted to be closer to the sand to make sandcastles. Well, he definitely is,
Closer.
he's definitely more grounded right now. If you don't behave, you'll get grounded. That's what you get if you misbehave, Sander. Leo asks if I brought a little shovel with me because I am in a nice sand pit. You're absolutely right, but I didn't take it with me. I thought I wasn't going to be needing it. Well, I didn't expect it was going to be so sandy over here. I actually thought it was probably just...
Really short and green stuff.
Yeah, well, at least some sort of grass still here, but I didn't expect a total absence of grass. Then again, if we get a bit of rain on Sunday, we'll get that grass back soon enough. Delta Airlines flight 162 over here, arrived from Minneapolis, Minnesota, A330-300. We'll use the reversers. Auditory litmus test. Nice wheelie. Bam. Harry Heron has landed on the other side of the canal. Tauganor says, RIP chair, time for a charity fundraiser. Help Sander get a new seat. More firm, but light enough to travel. Harry Heron has arrived over here. Here he is. Harry the hypnotizing Heron. What are you looking at? Well, the only thing I can say to you is... Or... That's probably appropriate as well. Harry the hypnotizing Heron. Okay, Malta. And Delta over there. Next up, an A319 from Iberia, arriving from Madrid. And after that, WestJet, allegedly the best jet. Marcel, goedemorgen. And good morning to all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are here at the Polderbaan for the first time in a long time. Yeah, and what's the current status quo? Well, the fences have gone. You can enter the sand over here. It's cloudy over here. The excrement bridge is still there. Looking to the north, it's a bit cloudy. Looking to the east, same thing. Looking to the south, the same. Only looking to the west towards the Gulf of Yorkshire, you can see more blue in the sky. So coastal regions once again having the most sunshine. Although it is said that it will get a bit more sunny as the day is progressing, just like yesterday. A field of wheat over here. You can see that the wheat is hanging. They're almost all hanging. Clear indication that they're ready for harvesting, which will happen pretty soon, undoubtedly. Iberia has landed. It's in the One World livery. It's an A319. Madrid, Amsterdam usually averages around 2 hours, and this flight has lasted 1 hour 53. What was the name? Buo Real. For a moment I thought it read Faux Real, but it didn't. Buo Real. WestJet. And behind it, the next airplane already visible, which is an EasyJet A320 Neo, arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. And after that, there ought to be a Dreamliner from KLM. Yep, and we are able to see it right there. If you look closely, you can see it. That is returning from SAN, which is San Diego. In the meantime, Klaas has also come back in the chat. Klaas Reinders celebrating a membership anniversary, 16 months, no less. And he writes, the journey continues. It certainly does. Welcome back, Klaas. Hope you're doing well. And congratulations on 16 months of membership. Hope they've been to your satisfaction thus far. If they haven't, or if anything is changing in that, do let me know. And I'll see what I can do to make it better for you and all the other members. It's always a pleasure to have you in our midst. And I hope you'll keep coming back for a long time to come. If not in the lounge as a member, then at least as a regular recurring visitor. Congratulations, Klaas, and thank you for the long-lasting support. WestJet, allegedly the best jet. What does it have under its windows? Looks a bit like the Retrolux. If you recall, yesterday when it arrived, not only does it have a black tip nose, but also a bit of black under the cockpit windows, and this looks very similar. Ah! Rawada Lashkar, I totally mispronounced your name, I'm sorry mate, says I'm a WestJet employee at Calgary base. And indeed, the question that I was also wondering, Jeff already asked, can you tell us then, is it the best jet? Just like with those bold claims by, what was it again? No, not Sun Express, Sky Express, who claim that Greece is bliss. Ask the Greeks and you'll get a different answer. Or I should say ask other Greeks more properly. Bit of sunshine over there. Nice to see. EasyJet. High rise in Haarlem, in Schalkwijk. There it is. For a moment it was shining brightly. The sun was shining on it, but not on the adjacent high rises. Wind does seem to have picked up a bit more. There's more horizontality in the scale of chimney smoke. Whereas in the beginning of the show it was pure vertical. It was pretty warm then. Now the breeze, the minimal breeze that we have is very nice and welcome. Keeps things cool.
Oh, don't know if you read it, but I put up the vid.
Oh, cool.
On my channel, so to speak. So
I think we need to put a URL then in the chat. Very nice video that Sachtler made while driving in the truck. He was driving under the road that the airplanes taxi over to Polderbaan and to the center runway, right as a 747 was approaching. Perfect timing. And then after clearing the tunnel, jet blast.
yeah, with branches, grass,
Everything, yeah. More sand and stones and whatnot. That was KLM Flight 640 just now. And I can see that UR Airlines are operated by BH Air arriving from Erbil in Iraq is approaching the center runway. Parallel arrivals have begun. It's 10:50, so it's it's later than 10:40. It's earlier than 11. It should probably be lasting until 11:40. In the meantime, Daisy Duck has gotten closer by. There she is. Have a look. What is up, Daisy? How are you doing? David Wolf, goedemorgen. Good morning. Lurk, good morning. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, everybody else. Hope you're doing well. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. Next airplane approaching. KLM Flight 1002, arriving from London Heathrow. A321neo. Which one is this? Fax D. Papa Hotel Alpha X-Ray Delta. All right.
Dealer almost says flew two F-35s above his house.
Yeah. Where is that house then?
Yeah.
And what did he do to cause two F-35s to be hovering above your house? I think.
What's this dude doing?
Anyway, it's time for a hydration break. Let me pour me a small little glass of vodka. Mervyn also back in the chat. Good morning, mate. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. And welcome back to the Polderbaan. This is KLM Flight 749, arriving from Cartagena, which is in Colombia. And Colombia is right next to Ecuador. This is a 7878. No, a 7879 Dreamliner actually, the mid-size. It's been flying for 9 hours and 26 minutes to get here. It's the Papa Hotel Bravo Hotel Alpha, BHA. The airplane is 10 years old. Its first flight was in October 2015, so pretty soon it's going to be celebrating its 11th birthday. Hey Ricardo, goedemorgen. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. David Wolf is celebrating 9 months of membership. Congratulations, mate. Abroad or at home, always nice to tune in. Are you still in Down Under? Or are you on your way back already? Massive big thanks for all the support, David Wolf. Always a pleasure to have you in our chat, whether it is from the Netherlands or from abroad. I hope you'll keep coming back for a long time to come. Look at how the clouds are shaping as that Dreamliner has flown through them, curling up. That is cool, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely lovely to see. Hope that everything in the lounge is still to your satisfaction, David Wolf. If it isn't, then do speak up and let me know what you feel needs to change, and I'll see what I can do to make it better for you and everybody else who is a member. David Wolf, congratulations on 9 months and thank you for the long-lasting support. Arrived back at Schiphol on Tuesday evening. Back at work since yesterday. What? Already back at work? Whoa, no.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable, indeed. Third airplane visible behind Air Canada. That's the Dreamliner that flew through the clouds just now so nicely. That's Delta Airlines Flight 74. Over here we have Royal Air Maroc. Bada bing, bada boom. Flight 698. This is the old livery, which I also enjoy. The new one is more colorful, but this, although the stripes are not positioned over the windows, does vibrate retro vibes, if you ask me. It's very minimalistic, but I think it suits the 737 quite nicely. Albeit a bit simple. Center runway is also open, absolutely it is. Air Canada Flight 808 up next. ITA to center. Screw you, ATC. Yeah, there it is. There it is, alright. ITA. Air Canada Flight 808. Boeing 7878. 6 hours and 26 minutes on the way. The Charlie Golf Hotel Papa Tango. Not a Quebec to be seen in this airplane's registration. Are Canadian airplanes proper Canadian if they don't have Quebec in it? Not sure. The airplane is 12 years old already. 12 years without Quebec. It's a shame. The reversers still work. Zolurk also prefers the livery, the current livery, more than the new one. I think the new one also looks pretty nice with the red and with the green. It's a nice colorful livery. I think there's something to say about both. Definitely not a worse livery like the Iceland Air, the new Iceland Air, for instance, is, at least in my humble opinion. Groucho Kent is celebrating 15 months of membership. He writes, "Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Groucho. Hope all is well, mate. And thank you so much for your long-lasting support. 15 months, a year and 3 months. Congratulations and thank you. I hope that everything in the lounge is still to your satisfaction, but do let me know if anything needs to be altered." Good morning, Robert Sillins. And welcome to the channel. Delta Airlines Flight 74, arriving from Atlanta in Georgia. A330-300, 7 hours and 55 minutes on the way. 755, that's also a flight number from KLM. And do you guys happen to know where KLM flight 755 is flying from? From what country? You're absolutely right. That's Harry Heron has switched sides and is now on this side of the canal. Slowly but surely going back towards the grass and the edge. Oh, and another Heron is coming in. More incoming. Boom. Okay, so now we have two on either side of the canal. Do we have anything coming in right now? Yep.
Oh.
What? Are they? Oh, are they switching? One's going to this side, and the other one is flying away. All right. Well, there you go. It's not just Coots who can get territorial, but so too can the Herons. Let's switch back to manual focus to set the focus manually to infinity, like so. KLM flight 1070 over there, arriving from Southampton. That's an Embraer 175. The twinkling of lights behind it, that's Transavia arriving from Ibiza. While we have a moment to spare, let's have a quick look on Flight Radar, first of all, to see where the airplanes of interest are at. There are a few inbound. Let's have a quick look. The next airplane of interest is almost entering Belgium. That's the Retro Transavia. It should be here at around 11:33, so half an hour away still. Somewhere behind it is the KLM Orange Pride, which is expected now around noon, an hour from now. If we zoom out a little bit, the first next 747 is Singapore Airlines, which is expected around 12:18. So nice spatial temporal separation, half hour, 20 minutes to half an hour between the airplanes. And then 107 is now the current ETA of the Emirates A380. That means it's going to be landing on the center runway. The way things are currently standing. Let me also update the weather. First of all, the ticker and also the visualization of it. Current status quo, the weather. We have 19 degrees Celsius as temperature, nearly 70 F. 3 knots of wind now, variable direction. Below all the clouds, we have good visibility, more than 10 kilometers. We do have a ceiling still, now at 3,500 feet. Right. The next airplane over there is approaching. Gives me a moment to spare to also update the ticker with the latest weather report. Time to get up again and have a look. Transavia is arriving. We missed the landing of the Embraer just now. Can still show you. It's a dime in a dozen. But for those of you who really don't want to miss any of the airplanes landing, here it is, the Embraer 175 from KLM, arriving from Southampton just now. It's school vacation time in the Netherlands, and you can see it's quite busy over here. People with children in particular have found the Polderbaan again, but not just people with children, people walking their dogs, cyclists, pedestrians, and of course Sander Sakay, who is now once again attaching his camera to his gimbal. Behind Sander you can see the west is pretty open. It's the only part of the sky where we do still have open blue sky. The rest here is pretty cloudy. As you can see, all the other quadrants in the sky have grey, 50 shades of grey. We invented that shit here in the Netherlands. That's our thing. This is Transavia flight 5680. And I wonder if the picture on Flight Radar has been taken in Innsbruck. It looks like it a little. It's not flying in from Innsbruck, but from Ibiza, the party island. Parallel arrivals in progress. Everybody's to the center runway as well right now. Gurdeep is also back in the chat. Good to see ya. And welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi. It isn't mandatory to say hi. You can always stay in Lurker Lounge and just enjoy the footage. But don't be afraid to say hi if you want to share who you are and where you're from. That's always appreciated. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. Quite a few people are watching. Together they know quite a lot and we'll happily try to answer any questions you may have. If you guys are enjoying the show, don't forget to leave a like if you want to help this channel grow. A like goes a long way, as does subscribing and sharing. Sharing is caring. EasyJet A319 up next. And after that, we'll have to wait a bit. But there is traffic both from the east and from the west approaching both runways. Calvin Hobbies says hello. Good day to you too, Calvin. Robert Sillins asks, have you ever been in Switzerland? I can't say that I have. It is still on my bucket list to go skiing in a few of the renowned areas in Switzerland. But to date, I have yet to go there. Calvin wonders if there are some good planes in Amsterdam. Well, it depends on what you determine to be good planes. If you want A380s, then only one. Or has it turned to two again? No? So just one a day?
Yeah, I believe so.
So if your definition of good planes is just the A380, then Schiphol is a piss poor airport. Compared to, for instance, London or LA. If you like Embraers, this is heaven. If you like A319s, or if you like EasyJet, or if you like KLM Blue, this is heaven. If you want 747s, it's also not the best airport in the world. We do have a few, but they're all cargo, and it's maybe if you're lucky, you get a handful in a day. On some days, only just one or two, and often at odd hours. So really depends on the way you you define it.
Last Monday, 6 over the whole day.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah. Thursdays are also relatively good days lately. Peter wonders if it is still possible to spot at the Zwanenburgbaan, the center runway. It is. To my knowledge, you can still go to the north edge and stand under the approach lights. The 2000L road over there, which intersects the Hoofdvaart Oost. You can still go there, to my knowledge. And obviously also the taxiing of airplanes from Polderbaan back to Schiphol. That bridge a bit further south. Ah, the picture of Transavia was taken in Salzburg. There you go. Thanks for the feedback, Zolurk. Zolurk says AMS is heaven for 747s. And best spotting places, predictable runway usage. I'm not sure I agree with the first part of your statement, mate. Heaven for 747s? You think? Compared to Frankfurt, compared to Anchorage, compared to Heathrow, compared to LAX? I'm not too sure. We do get them, obviously. It's better than airports that don't get 747s. Any is better than none. Parallel arrivals are still in full swing. And while we're waiting for this airplane to get closer by, another one is already approaching the center runway. And passing by on the far side, yet another Embraer. So if Embraers are your thing, this is definitely your airport. Quite a few of them. KLM, Which one is this? Let me zoom in a little. This is KLM flight 1816, arriving from Frankfurt. An Embraer 175. Another Embraer landing over here. Also an Embraer 175. This one is arriving from Chester in the UK. Also an Embraer 175. Hello there, first officer. Bye bye.
Yesterday I was at Crosswind Boulevard.
Yeah?
Some pictures. And what's the prop plane?
The Dash 8.
Yeah.
Did it fly overhead? Beautiful.
I was like, I hear it somewhere. Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was really low.
Yeah, they don't climb that high for their coastal patrols. They're usually already at their cruising altitude as they pass over Schiphol towards the coastline. It's maybe 1,000 feet to 2,000. Yeah, it's nice. When Lisa and I went to the port of Rotterdam a while back, it also passed over the Nieuwe Waterweg.
Oh.
It was flying in the vicinity of Rotterdam, and it was right over the canal. I was too late to grab my camera to film it. I only realized it when it was already passing by. It's funny how those airplanes sometimes can creep up on you without you hearing them. Quite remarkable. Another Embraer 175. And in the meantime, AG, soon to be in the house. Something other than an Embraer 175. This is an A321neo Aegean arriving from Athens, flight 3624. Flight time usually should be around 3 hours for this flight. Right now, 3 hours and 12 minutes. Pretty nominal. Danny also back in the chat. Danny Romeinders, goedemorgen kerel. Good to see you again and welcome back to the Polderbaan, mate. This is KLM flight 1042 arriving from Birmingham, which is a 737-800. Flying parallel to it to the center runway is Transavia flight 5466, returning from Verona. That's an A321neo. Moment ago it was feeling quite warm when there was no wind. Now another breeze is blowing and it's much better. I arrived here and there was no wind and I was thinking, oh sheesh. In a moment the sun is going to start shining. I'm here with my hoodie on because yesterday I needed it and I was also still wearing gloves, so I figured today was going to be similar. Guess again. For a moment I felt severely overdressed, but with the slight breeze it is okay, it is manageable. Hope that nothing of the equipment is going to overheat, but with the wind that is becoming much less likely. Time for a hydration break. Time to pour a small glass of vodka. In the meantime, good news by Paul, who says that retro Transavia, and look at how creative he is using the T logo, the custom emoji, hint hint. It's coming to the Polderbaan. We can see that they are still watering the acres over there. Serious drought. And even though some rain was expected for Sunday, I'm not sure if it's going to put a dent in it. It's not going to all of a sudden fix all the water shortages over here. Transavia flight 5132 is arriving from Barcelona. 737-800. 1 hour and 59 minutes on the way. The Papa Hotel, Hotel Zulu Lima. 25 years old, first flight March 2001. Flying parallel to it, we have KLM flight 1292 arriving from Billund. That's an Embraer 190, has just passed us by. Transavia still with the old livery. And there's the Embraer 190 going to the center runway. Hard to see through the trees. I recall it was easier to follow the airplanes that landed on the center runway. But things have overgrown a little. Here it's becoming a bit more clear. There's United. Heatwave distortion is also picking up. That's what you get when the day progresses and things start to warm up a bit more. Let's see, Tarom with their 737 is flying to the center runway, and parallel to it over here we have an Embraer 190 arriving from London City, KLM flight 982. London Amsterdam usually averages around 40 to 45 minutes, and that too is the case for this one. 43 minutes underway, nominal flight duration. Papa Hotel Echo Zulu Oscar Viso, 16 years old, first flight March 2010. Touching down, and Tarom in the meantime passing us by. Yesterday it was an A320 with a livery that looked a bit different than this one. There was a bit more on the fuselage than just what you see on this one. Combo shot incoming. Bird control over there. Gotta be careful not to lose the airplane because of the overgrown field over there in the foreground. Let's see. Nothing yet to the Polderbaan. There are two airplanes going to the center runway. The first of which is KLM flight 1902 arriving from Vienna. That's an A321neo, followed by a KLM 737, and after that the next airplane to the Polderbaan, a 737-800. Calvin wonders when the A380 is coming. Last time we checked, it was expected to arrive here shortly after 1 p.m. local time, so probably in just under 2 hours from now. Most likely, with its ETA being shortly after 1 o'clock, it's going to be landing on the same runway that this A321neo is also headed for. In other words, it's not going to be landing here up close, but we are still able to see it quite well from here, as you can see. Last time we checked, its ETA was shortly after 1. Looks like it wasn't picking up time, but just losing more time as it continued towards Amsterdam. It's 11:16. We have a few airplanes of interest underway. And while we're waiting for the next arrival to the Polderbaan, let's have a quick look at Flight Radar to see where these airplanes of interest are currently flying. Transavia Retro is already in the vicinity, as you can see. Transavia Retro is now flying, let me zoom in, it's flying over Westland. The Hague, well no, it's The Hague and Scheveningen already. 11:24, we might catch a glimpse of it while it is flying downwind. It will pass behind us. Zooming out a little bit further, and west of Paris we can see the KLM Orange Pride, which is now expected to be here around noon. Zooming out a bit further, we can see that in the vicinity, is that the Isle of Man over there? No, that's further to the south. Singapore 747 in the vicinity, relative vicinity of Glasgow, should be here in an hour from now. And zooming out a bit further, we can see that the Emirates A380 now has an ETA of 1:05. So it's consistently shortly after 1 o'clock. And that means it's going to be landing on the wrong runway, unfortunately. But as you guys could see, it's still quite easily visible from here. This is KLM flight 1406 arriving from Paris. And in the background, a Dreamliner has turned in, which is arriving from LAX. There it is. Small itty bitty spiders are over here already.
Yeah.
Interesting, because it's quite early in the season already, and there's not much for them to be building webs in. Visual confirmation by Maxime that the Retro Transavia has been sighted in the Hague area. It's coming this way. Nice Karen cabin in the back of the 737. The Papa Hotel Bravo X-Ray Whiskey. Officer Nodus says, look behind you. Tuning in from Almelo. Morgen jongens. Goedemorgen.
Heerlijk weer.
Ja, het is warmer dan ik had gedacht eigenlijk. ik ben een beetje te warm gekleed, joh. Ja, maar ja, dan moet je wel weer oppassen dat je niet gaat verbranden. Dat is altijd de trade-off. Ik denk, dan hou ik hem wel aan, dan maar even een beetje zweten. Mooi op de... Oh jee. Yeah, cyclists screaming because how dare those people be on his cycling path? I've learned from Kevo Blucati that in the UK these people are called mammals, middle-aged men in lycra. Yep. Well, I cannot see if it is a middle-aged man, but I'm going to assume for simplicity's sake that it is. That was a mammal. A king of the road. This is KLM flight 604, arriving from LAX, 787-10 Dreamliner. Henrik and Roberto also back in the chat. Ciao ragazzi. Benvenuti. Ariam is asking if I'll still be here at 2:40, and the answer is most likely not. I think probably after the A380 it's time for me to wrap up. Unless more interesting stuff are immediately behind it. But usually when the A380 lands, after that, things start to calm down severely. This is KLM flight 604, arriving from LAX, 9.5 hours underway. It's the PHBKR Bravo Kilo Romeo. Brand new airplane, will turn 1 in August. So it's still an airplane baby, even though it is big. Boom. Quite busy over here, quite a few people. And I suspect at the parking spot of the Spottersplatz it's probably busy as well. Ordinarily from here you would be able to see it, though I think this angle prohibits being able to see if it is busy at the Spottersplatz itself. We still have parallel arrivals in progress. In that respect, nothing has changed. Fly Pigs! Air Oink Oink is coming in. Killerspieler, guten Morgen und herzlich willkommen. Yorkshire Phaser, good morning. Yorkshire Phaser says we also have other words for them too, most not repeatable around children. Talking about the mammals. Pegasus, arriving from Istanbul, A321neo. Usually around 3 hours the flight time, 3 hours and 12 minutes it is right now. Lighting looks pretty good, even though it's not directly shown upon by the sun, it does pop a little, or at least it did pop just now against a darker backdrop. While Air Oinkoink is making its way to the center runway, the next airplane to the Polderbaan is also approaching. E2 Embraer 195 arrived from Dublin in Ireland. KLM flight 1136. Big ass carrying cabin in the back. And the next airplane to the center runway is flying over there. That's an Embraer 175, which is arriving from Nuremberg. And interestingly, there is an Embraer 170 underway that allegedly is KLM. Now, KLM does not have Embraer 170s in their fleet, so I suspect this might be an Air France Embraer coming this way next. Another mammal has been sighted. KLM flight 1428 arrived from Lyon. It's an Embraer 170. Click on it and you'll see Air France up. It is a slight distinction. KLM uses Embraer 175s and Air France up 170s. Good morning, Bruno. Fabian, goedemorgen. Pete Olding has to go back to work. Says see you later. See you later, Pete. Thank you for joining thus far. Hopefully see you again later in the weekend. Air France up, operating on behalf of KLM, returning from Lyon. Flight time has been 1 hour and 21 minutes. Oui, oui, omelette du fromage, vin rouge. Merci beaucoup, au revoir. Camembert. In English you say thank you, come again. But in France you say merci, camembert. True story. True story. It's 11:26 and that means that on paper we should still have another 15 or so minutes of parallel arrivals. It's still narrow bodies o'clock with all Embraers to both runways for the time being. This is an Embraer 175. Arriving from Stavanger, KLM flight 1174. Parallel to it, an Embraer 190, which is returning from Barcelona, KLM 1498. Retro Transavia is in the vicinity. It's flying base and it's going to be arriving here on the Polderbaan pretty soon. German Airways, flying on behalf of KLM. Part German Airways, part BA, this livery. It's BA blue at the bottom. Engine casings and the fuselage. And the rest is German Airways. Big picture overview. To begin with, the east. Looks like so. Turn the camera quarter turn clockwise and we'll end up looking to the south, where Gary Grebe is also in the canal. And you can see to the right a bit more openings. That's looking to the west. This is southwest, more open. Directly west, even more open. Northwest, even more open. And then back to the north. But I have to turn back because otherwise my camera wires get tangled. So. Here we go. Transavia Retro has the honor of flying in behind KLM flight 682, which is a 777, arriving from Vancouver. Which is next after this? Which is by the looks an Embraer 190 with Porsches on this side of it. The DTM Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft special livery. Yep. Makes you wonder why DTM has chosen to sponsor German Airways, or probably pay them to advertise their championship. Are the views insufficient or dropping? Is the Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft no longer as popular as it was before? Why did they feel the need to buy some real estate on an airplane fuselage to advertise their existence? Makes you all wonder. I'll drink to that. Bottoms up. Transavia Retro is over there. Turning in behind it is an A330 Neo from Delta Airlines flight 48. It's sandwiched in between two wide bodies because this is KLM flight 682, arriving from Vancouver in Canada. 8 hours and 27 minutes on the way. The PHB VR Bravo Victor Romeo, 10-year-old specimen. First flight May 2016. And next, Transavia Retro. Nice touchdown. E-tops. Have a look at this combo shot. The Retro Transavia with the cute boop, the snoot snooty, which you can already see from here. Particularly if I throttle up the digital zoom somewhat. Transavia Retro coming in as flight 5354 from Faro in Portugal. 2 hours and 27 minutes on the way. The Papa Hotel, Yankee Hotel Delta. The airplane a year old. I still remember last year in July when it arrived. It landed on runway 36 right, the Aalsmeerbaan, while we were filming arrivals at the Kaagbaan. And the only runway open was the Kaagbaan at the time, but ATC obviously made an exception for the Transavia Retro. It landed on the wrong runway, but we were still able to see it quite nicely. Later that day, it went on its first passenger flight. There you go. Richard says German Airways is a sponsor of the Mustang race team, which is painted on the other side. Therefore, a partner of the DTM Championship. There you go. So it's German Airways who is sponsoring in the DTM. What's the expression again? One hand scratches the other, or one back scratches the other? Something to that effect. Here's the Transavia Retro. And already a year it has been since it got delivered and started flying commercially. Time flies, doesn't it? I still remember it like yesterday. Shortly after that NATO summit, alright, Delta Airlines flight 48 up next. Arriving from New York, JFK. A330 Neo. Flight time 6 hours and 19 minutes. Registration November 432 Delta X-Ray. Airplane a year old, first flight January 2025. Now I wonder, are there still airplanes going to the center runway, or is it going to close already? The next airplane potentially going there is arriving in the vicinity of Permanent, Transavia 5792. I wonder if it has been assigned to the center runway or if it's still already going to the Polderbaan. Considering the time, it might well be that the Transavia arriving from Preveza will already be going to the Polderbaan, which means it might have been closed already, or at least that there are no more airplanes going there.
Doesn't look like it.
Well, I don't know. It could still go there. The Transavia is flying base just north of Permanent. It might still turn in for the center runway. I think you'd have to look on Omgevingsinfo's website to see whether it has been assigned to the Polderbaan or not. So I'm counting 3 little spiders now on my camera and on my phone attached to the camera that are trying to make a web. Let me see if I can pick them up. Blow them off. This is over here, yeah. Go away. Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch.
Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way.
3 itty bitty spiders. That'll teach them. Right, they're gone. Another Embraer 190 arriving from Luxembourg, followed by an A321neo arriving from Catania. And after that, an E2 Embraer 195. Already visible over there, arriving from Newcastle. 3 airplane glide slope shot. We've yet to see Captain Jerry, have we? Hope he's alright. Busy man. Recently having turned 64, if I recall correctly. And is this the Herpa Derpa Derpa? I think it is. Herpa Derpa Derpa. Going viral with itches and scratches for 75 years. Maxime says, don't get bitten, you could turn into Spider-Man. Yeah, that's also my initial thought. Cool. No spider webs yet emanating from my wrists, so I haven't turned into Spider-Man just yet. I'll keep trying. No luck. Right, up next. Transavia flight 5216, arriving from Catania, A321neo. Behind it, KLM flight 954, E2 Embraer arriving from Newcastle. Transavia in the new livery, bolder font and more green on the tail and on the engines. The engine exterior. One of those little spiders crawled back just now. Oh no, K1. Jeez, that's the second time K1 is photobombing. But you can photobomb in a good way and in a bad way, and that wasn't a good way. Harry Heron flies away in disgust. Jesus, what was that? The Dutch, of course, famous for their weed. And here's a field of wheat. You can see they're all hanging. Almost all of them are hanging, which means they're ripe for harvesting. Won't be surprised if the next time I'm returning here, this field will have been harvested as well as the one that was next to it. You can already see that. And next to this field of wheat, there is a field of corn, but the corn has yet to develop. Don't see the corn cobs just yet. E2 Embraer 195 over here having landed, arriving from Newcastle. Embraer 190 arriving from Basel. And the A321 arriving from Preveza, indeed coming to the Polderbaan already, which means that the center runway has closed. No first officer waves yet. We've yet to see the first. I think if we go back home, Sander, it's going to be an abundance of sunshine looking to the coastal region. West Coast, yeah, West Side is the best side. Oh yeah. I'll drink to that. Gixer83 says in Dutch, good gamble from Qatar 8201, Dutch pilot, but not ex-KLM. How would you know? Liège. Where will that be taking off from then? Airwolf is also coming this way by the looks of it. Or at least Buitenveldert. Well, we might get to see it then. If it takes off from Buitenveldert, it's much easier for us to spot. Is that still being used for the departures? Bezoekbus still had to update when I checked this morning, so I'm not sure what runway use currently is at, nor what it will be like. Let's have a look, why don't we? Let me see. Bezoekbus. Here we go. Scroll down and let's have a quick look at the expected runway use, because using 09 was a bit off. It seems that is going to be changing again. Expected runway use, we can see it over here. We are at 10:40 right now, so from 10:40 to 1 it's going to be arrivals on the Polderbaan and departures from Alsmeer again, so the normal runway configuration will resume. Yeah. Alright, well, there you go. I'll change that in the ticker in a moment. Let's first film the next landing. And also a massive big thanks and congratulations to Danny Romeiners, who is celebrating 29 months of membership. Whoop whoop 29, he writes, using the new custom emoji for vodka and the glide slope shot. Well done, mate. Congratulations. Thank you so much for your long-lasting support, Danny. Hope that everything in the lounge is still very much to your satisfaction, but if it isn't, do speak up and let me know what you feel needs to change, and I'll see what I can do to make it better for you and the other members. It's always gezellig when you are in the chat with us, and I hope you'll keep coming back for a long time to come. If not as a member in the lounge, then at least as a regular recurring visitor. Congratulations, Danny, and thank you so much for your long-lasting support. Milan, goedemorgen. Bella, good morning. Michael DCA, good morning, mate. Welcome back. Hope all is well. Anthony, good morning. Welcome back. Welcome to the show, everybody who has joined later. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're back at the Polderbaan after the fences have gone and the tubes have too.
And the 747 from LAX Singapore is around Leeds.
Singapore 747 is in the vicinity of Leeds. Thank you for the heads up, Sander. While we are here, we might as well open up Flight Radar, have a quick look. We can already see what's coming. The Orange Pride is coming. It's now in the Netherlands already. ETA 12 o'clock. And the Singapore that Sander was alluding to earlier, 20 minutes later, should be here in 40, is now over England. And in Hungarian airspace, we have the Emirates A380 still losing more time as it is traveling to the Netherlands. Its ETA is now 10 minutes past 1, so that's going to the center runway almost certainly, unless something really odd and unexpected is going to happen. Doesn't matter, we can still see it quite well from here. We can also hear the reverses quite easily since there is little to no wind today. If you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. If you guys are enjoying the show and you haven't done so already, consider leaving a like to boost the algorithm and help the channel reach a wider audience in the future. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi. It isn't mandatory to say hi, but it is always appreciated when people do say hi and where they're from. And if you have a question, don't be shy. Just ask. No such thing as a stupid question. We'll happily try to answer any questions you might be having. In the meantime, King Kenny has renewed his membership and is back in the Aurora Sky Lounge as our latest member. Welcome back, King Kenny. Thank you for your vote of confidence. We kept your seat nice and cool. It's good to have you back. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Nivlek, good morning, goedemorgen. And welcome to the show, everybody else. Marcus, goedemorgen, kerel. We have an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Hanover in Germany. Flight 1788. Hanover in the north of Germany, not very far away. Still a significant drive, but by airplane, this flight has only lasted 37 minutes. Bit longer than Düsseldorf, which is around 30 minutes. Or Brussels, which has a similar flight time. Big ass carrying cabin. What I don't like about E2s is that I don't know what the name for this is, but the protrusion at the bottom where the main gear also retracts into. Some airplane types, all airplanes have it, but in some it is protruding much more than in other types. The A330, for instance, is also an example where this protrusion really stands out. I think it looks a bit like a pregnant airplane with a protruding belly. If you compare, for instance, with the A350, you can still see it, but it's less in your face. It's less distinct. It's more subtle. It's more curvy or something. I wonder what it's called. There must be a proper official term for it. But that's what I don't like about the E2. Visually, it's always a bit pregnant. Nothing against pregnancies, but it's a protruding belly. Jesse asks where I think that the A380 is going to land. If I had to bet money on it, I would happily bet a big sum to, say, the center runway. The ETA now is 10 minutes past 1 and it needs to arrive here before 1 o'clock to be landing here. If it lands at or around 1 o'clock or later, it's going to the center runway. Almost certainly. Of course, it might well be different, but on paper, normally speaking, 9 out of 10 times, if not 99 out of 100 times, it should land on the center runway today. And you can simply base that on the estimated time of arrival. Stephen also back in the chat. Happy Friday, mate. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. John says, this viewing spot is my new favorite. Haven't you seen it before then? Surely you must have seen streams from this location before. If you like it already, wait until we have southwesterly storm, mate, when the airplanes are crabbing and are leaning in against the wind and are looking past us to our left. It looks like they'll be passing on that side, but actually they're landing on that side. During westerly winds, it's even better. I personally think it's the best location under those circumstances to be here. EastJet arriving from London Luton might give you the cramps. Look away if you still can, if you are Luton intolerant. It's not Jesus, but Gasfa. F you, Gas. Haven't seen the Excrement Bridge in some time, says Steven. Indeed. If you only watch my streams and don't watch other streamers at Amsterdam, it must have been a few months, at least, that we last saw it up close. Of course, I did go to the northern edge of the runway once, but that's still, I think 2 kilometers away from the Excrement Bridge, but then to the north. So even though it is visible from there, and I probably zoomed in to the cycling path from the north a few times during that stream, still not as easily visible as it is today from here. I had hoped that it would have been removed, but obviously that was too ambitious for me to think. This whole project of renewing the sewage pipes is expected to continue until the end of this calendar year, so I actually honestly don't think that things here will be back to normal before the end of 2026, if not the beginning of 2027. But as long as it stays the way it is right now, I'm perfectly fine with it, because you can stand over here and you can stand on the northern side of the excrement bridge. Hopefully there will be plenty room if it is more busy and other streamers are here, that they don't get aggressive wanting to punch me. But if they do, there will be some hell to pay. I hope that's not a threat, that's a promise. But it's back to normal, and I hope it's going to stay like this for a long time to come. L'arc de Poupou. Oui, oui, omnibus du fromage. Another E2 Embraer 195 is coming in from London. You might be wondering, London? Yes, London.
You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
You're right, Stephen, the grass is missing. It is said to. It is said that on Sunday we'll get some rain of significance, no less. Seeing is believing, because anything can change over the course of a few days. But it is said that in 2 days from now, we're going to get some rain over here. I'm pretty sure that if the ground here gets wet, we'll see grass re-emerge soon enough. I'm not sure if they've sown grass seeds here, but otherwise it must be in the ground already. If you compare how quickly the grass came back on the other side of the canal when they finished the reconstruction of the dike, or the water side. I'm still surprised to see how high the water has climbed over here. If you recall those boards, and last time we were here, you would have been easily able to see 20 to 30 centimeters, almost a foot. And now those staircases that they have placed here at fixed intervals, you can still see one over there. Totally unnecessary today. We already saw coots and ducks climbing out of the water easily without any assistance needed. This is KLM flight 1704 arriving from Brussels, A737-800. Orange Pride has been sighted above The Hague, says Nivlek. Thanks for the feedback, mate. I forgot to look behind me to see if we were able to see the Retro Transavia, but I am going to make an attempt to see if we can spot the Orange Pride once it gets close by. Nice Karen cabin in the back. No windows for Karen. But instead she does have privacy, which is also very valuable. Zooming out to see where we can find KLM flight 744 arriving from Lima in Peru, and that is the PHBVA Orange Pride, which we also saw leave yesterday, albeit from afar. Took off from the Polderbaan yesterday, and today it's going to be landing on the Polderbaan as well. Full circle. It is flying in the vicinity of Leiden right now, but it is flying a bit off the coast. More to the west than I would have liked. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to see it from here, but it's still too far to see properly. But the further away it is, the more to the west, the lower it is and closer to the horizon. Now obviously there are trees in the way and buildings. Right now it's still too far away, but it should become visible pretty soon. If we are able to see it, which is a big if.
About 2 kilometers up.
Yeah, there you go. A jet is landing here. A jet arriving from Istanbul. Flight time normally should be around 3 hours. 3 hours and 19 minutes. That is a bit longer than normally would have been the case. Slight delay. Could have been a different route. Could have been headwind. It might also be that they pressed the clock at a different time and the clock was already initiated earlier than normally. That's also something I'm wondering about. How does Flight Radar calculate the flight time, and does the flight always start at the same point during the flight, i.e. during the rotation or at passing through a certain altitude? You need some consistency. Right. On the right we have KLM flight 1088, arrival from Cardiff, that's number 175. On the left we have Transavia, arrival from Porto in Portugal. In the meantime I'm looking behind me to see if I can spot something that resembles the Orange Pride. It should be arriving against a relatively open sky backdrop. So if it is going to be visible for us, we do have almost optimal circumstances for it. Sander is already spotting with his lens to see if he can find it. In the meantime, I'm filming KLM's landing. Flight 1088, arrival from Cardiff. There we go. Touchdown. In the meantime, I'm going to be pointing the camera in the direction of the glide slope, where we can also see Delta Airlines flight 136 in the background turning in. That's an A350. I think that's going to be the first A350 of today's show. Meanwhile, Sander is busy scanning the sky, looking for the 777. That's part blue, part orange. It should be in the vicinity of Zandvoort already, so I think you may even need to point the camera a bit further to the north already. It has passed us by already from what I can see on Flight Radar. Has it crept past us without us noticing it? Sander is using his lens to scan the entire sky over here. I think it might be a bit too far outward for us to see. Too far on over the Gulf of Yorkshire still. Too far out. Too low above the horizon from here. I think that the trees and the buildings of the southeast side of Haarlem are in the way. Yeah. Well, we'll see it soon enough. No worries. It's going to be landing here on this runway. Obviously, it would have been nicer if we were already able to see it a bit ahead, but maybe we can still see it when it is flying base. Over here, Delta Airlines flight 136. That's an A350 arriving from Detroit, Michigan. I was about to say Minneapolis, but DTW, that's Detroit, Michigan. A350, flight 136, 6 hours and 40 minutes on the way. 7-year-old machine, first flight December 2018. This is the November 512 Delta November. The Orange Pride is now turning in. It has turned base more or less. The backdrop in the quadrant of the sky that it now is supposed to be flying in is completely blue, so I think with the orange front it should stand out quite nicely once it is within visual range, but I don't think it is just yet. First, let's film the landing of the A350. White tip nose, that's a new nose. Nose replacement. Or has it been dipping in the nose candy? Next airplane turning in, short circuit, Embraer 190, arriving from Leeds. Gear out already. Surely the Orange Pride should be within visual range right now. But where is it? Where, oh, where is it? Also, haven't heard anything from Sander. Oh yeah, I do have it now. It's left of the solar panel for me. In the vicinity of the solar panel.
Oh, yeah. Was a bit higher than I was looking.
Got a visual on the orange Pride, the BVA. There it is. The gear is still in. Well, that's going to change soon enough, though. Gear is extending. KLM flight 744 arriving from Lima in Peru, which is right next to. It's a 777-300 the BVA. Flight time has been 11 hours and 31 minutes. Right above the excrement bridge. Quite busy over here already, as you can see. The PHBVA is 18 years old. Its first flight was in January 2008. Embraer 190 over here in the foreground, landing. Have a look at the backdrop. And if we zoom in a bit more digitally, we can see the orangey front. Absolutely lovely. Moped on the cycling path. And another teeny tiny spider on my camera here. They seem to be thinking that this is a great webbing location. Thought I saw some movement from the corner of my eye. Oh yeah, here's another teeny tiny spider. Shoo! Get out of the way. KLM Orange Pride. Returning from Lima in Peru, we saw it taking off via this runway yesterday when we were at the Polderbaan, when we were far away. I didn't think we were going to get it back here on this same runway today. Nice to see it full circle, returning to the Polderbaan, where it departed from yesterday. Undoubtedly going to be an idle reverse landing. Yes, a bit of sunshine, nice. Bit of color, bit of pop. That's what we need. As expected, an idle reverse landing. Something wide-bodied coming this way. Yeah. I think that's Air China Cargo with an A330 probably. Yep. Now already behind the clouds again. Orange Pride has returned, and we need to celebrate with fireworks. That's bird control over there in the distance. If you were wondering where the sounds were coming from. I always seem to point the camera in their direction when they stop with the fireworks display. I was hoping for a physics demonstration and show you the difference between the speed of sound and the speed of light, because it's pretty far away. And it would make for a nice physics demonstration. Come on. One more round. One more time. Disappointing.
Maybe they're related to the grebes, you know. Point the camera at them, they don't do it.
Yeah, in that way they do seem to be related to the grebes. Point the camera in their direction and they stop doing what you want them to do. Right, Orange Pride is taxiing to its stand at the main platform area. In the meantime, over here we have KLM flight 948 landing, and that is an Embraer arriving from Belfast in Northern Ireland. Still waiting for the first officer to throw us a wave. Still nothing. Next, we are going to get an A319 arriving from Marrakesh, which is in the north of EasyJet A319, underway for 3 hours and 12 minutes. Austrian registered OELKK, 18 years old, first flight February 2008. After that, Vueling, arriving from Barcelona on A320, flight 8309. Starting to get pretty warm over here. Hope that the equipment isn't going to overheat with the lack of wind. That's always a concern. Even though things are in a laptop tent, it does heat up in the tent, and if it doesn't, if there's no wind, I think it's going to get pretty warm. Hey, Bevroren Patat, good to see you again. It's good to be back at the Polderbaan now that it has opened up again. The sand doesn't help. It was a bit cooler when there was still grass over here. Alright, so Retro Transavia has landed, as has the Orange Pride. Let's refresh our memory and have a look on Flight Radar to see what airplanes of interest are still coming. The next airplane of interest, let me turn the camera a little bit to the side so that we can continue to see the airplane in the background as well. We can see on Flight Radar that the next airplane of interest is already getting close by. Singapore Airlines Cargo, a 747 freighter that is expected to be here in 15 minutes from now. And if we zoom out a little bit, we can see that the Emirates A380 is underway, but still an hour and 12 minutes. No, an hour and 6 minutes underway. Thought it was 12, but it's 12:06. So it's going to be here at 1. Last airplane for today, I think. Provided that things stay working until then. The combination of sunshine and little to no wind is not a good one for all of my streaming equipment. We'll see. Vueling is next. Is the dot still in place? I'm sure Han would like to see. So this one's for you, Han. Don't think you're here right now, but if you watch in the replay, you can see everything is still intact. The dot's still there. World order will stay. Danny, goedemiddag, and good afternoon to all others who may have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. Transavia A321 Neo next, arriving from Thessaloniki. This is another one of those newer ones with a bolder font and more green on the engine on the engines and also on the tail. It's an A321 Neo Flight time has been 2 hours and 44 minutes. This is the Papa Hotel. Yankee Hotel Papa. So that is a symmetric registration. If you read that in reverse order, you'll still get the same registration. It's a brand new machine and only started flying in April this year. Oil cakes as donut back up, says Steven, aka Just Plain Nuts, as he super chats a generous donation. Mate, you really didn't have to do that, but thank you so much. I'll put some oil cakes on the groceries list. Or better yet, well, I wish I could bake them myself. I don't think I have the time for it. Nothing better than freshly baked cake. Provided that the baker is sufficiently capable. That's always a requirement with baked goods. Stephen, thank you so much for your donation and for your generosity. You didn't have to do that, mate, but thank you so much. Jero also back in the chat, as is RHR Racing, who's tuning in from Enschede. No, Almelo. Awesome. Welcome to the show. All others who may have joined in the meantime, you're still watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm here, joined by Sander Sake, and we are at the Polderbaan, which has opened up again. This part below the south side of the excrement bridge is still mostly grass, but they have removed all the fences. Over there we have a field of wheat. The wheat is almost ready to get harvested. Chris Coot is over there doing afternoon lunch cardio. Right there. But yeah, things have opened up again. Quite a few people here, coming and going. Pedestrians, people walking their dogs, cyclists. School vacation time in the Netherlands, which is why you can also see a lot of young people who ordinarily this time of day, this day of the week, ought to be in school. Families with all their kids. It's not an uncommon sighting here, regardless of whether there are school vacations or not. Mr. F is also back. Good to see you, mate. Stephen wonders where Captain Jerry is, and I wondered the same earlier in the show. We haven't seen him yet, Stephen. He's been missing out on some gorgeous glide slope shots that we have seen here in today's show. Assuming he is still in good health and just busy, he will probably catch the replay and still get to see the glide slope shots later. It's dry in the southwest of the Netherlands, as it is in most parts of Europe, and that means that farmers are watering their crops quite regularly. It's a regular sighting, this. The farmer over there has been watering for a while now, I think throughout the entire duration of the stream. Big field, undoubtedly. It was said that the weather was going to open up as the day progressed, just like it was predicted for yesterday, and it also came true yesterday, and it also seems to be happening right now. All along, the west and northwest was the most open, and that still is the case, but now looking to the north, you can see the openings are drifting in slowly but surely, and even if I point the camera to the east, you can already see some blue here and there over there. Pointing the camera to the south still shows you a lot of clouds, which is indicative of the direction of the wind. It feels like the wind is from the north, which makes it all the more surprising to see that they are using this runway for arrivals. I would have expected it to be used for departures, just like in the preceding week and days. So to my surprise, when I opened Flight Radar this morning, I saw that, or at least I was surprised when I saw opening up Flight Radar this morning that they were using it for arrivals. Checked CDM so that I could see where airplanes in the upcoming 3 hours going out would be assigned to, and they were all assigned to runway 24, so I was thinking, okay, it's going to be arrivals here on the Polderbaan. And so it did. Lovely. So, we're minutes away from the next 747. In the meantime, this is Delta Airlines Flight 144 arriving from Seattle, Washington. A330neo, about to touch down after 8 hours and 57 minutes of flight. It's a relatively new specimen, 3 years old, already reversing. First flight of this Delta A330neo was in June 2023, so this airplane has just turned 3 years last month. You may be wondering, have you seen the firefighters yet? And the answer is no. Upon arriving here, I didn't see them, nor have I seen them since. Mammal coming through. Meow. Two airplane glide slope shot. Transavia. Flight 5934. Arriving from GRX Granada. 737-800. After that, KLM 758 arriving from Panama City. That's a 777-300. Flying base over the coastline. Onto land right now is the Singapore 747. So I am going to be scanning the sky because on paper, I'm thinking it ought to be out there somewhere. You will probably be able to see it much better than I am. Assuming I'm panning past it. Or maybe the clouds are already in the way. I'm not sure that they are. Somewhere over there. I think I have it. Just left of the excrement bridge. Someone is also looking. Top left corner of the excrement bridge. That's where you can see it. Just above it. Howdy Ton, who says there will be a typhoon from NW coming over you pretty soon. From the northwest. A typhoon. At which altitude? I do see a little contrail, but I'm not hearing anything. The contrail seems to be more bright in the northwest, so it seems to be the airplane causing it seems to have been traveling from southeast to northwest. Hey, Frank also back in the chat. Good to see you, Frank. Hope all is well, mate. Gear extending on the Singapore Airlines cargo. Arriving from LAX. Flight 7327. The next 747 of the show. Typhoon gone from flight radar. Uh-oh. Did it crash? We didn't hear anything. We didn't hear anything crashing down. 777 landing over here. Right. Singapore Airlines cargo. Queen number 2, flight 7327, arriving from LAX, where it left from 9 hours and 25 minutes ago. This is the 9 Victor Sierra Foxtrot India, 25-year-old machine. Uh-oh, did you summon me, says Lisa. Queen inbound. Hey there, Lisa. Good to see ya. Greetings from Sander as well, who is here. Shooting Queens. 25-year-old machine What a young, pretty looking girl this is. Only 25 years old, hailing from September 2000. There she is. Queen is coming. Ankara Morse says it's only 6 hours late. I was wondering about that because normally speaking we don't get Singapore Airlines cargoes in the morning streams. They usually tend to arrive during the night or in the evening. But there you go. Another 747. Will they use their reversers? That's the question. KLM Cargo? Probably not. Singapore? Maybe. It's a 747-400. Those do have the possibility to get really loud. We'll find out soon enough. Excuse me! And the girl.
Nice.
Absolutely lovely. Frank says this landing went very Singaporeish. Is that so? How would you describe a Singaporean landing? What does that look and sound like? Absolutely lovely. Gorgeous landing. On to the next wide body, the next airplane of interest, if I recall correctly, is going to be the Emirates A380, which will be arriving here within the hour, around 1:15 local time. Now that does mean it's going to be landing on the center runway instead of on the Polderbaan, but we are still going to be able to see it and hear it quite well from here. Jesus Santos is tuning in from Sacramento in California. Good morning, mate, and welcome to the channel. Nice of you to say hi. If you are new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi. It isn't mandatory to say hi, but it is always appreciated when people do say hi and tell us where they're from. If you have a question, don't be shy. Ask it. No such thing as a stupid question. The people here are all friendly and will happily try to answer any questions you might be having. If you guys are enjoying the show, don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. If you want to help this channel reach a wider audience in the future. Subscribing and sharing also helps. Russell Crowe in the foreground on the sign. And Queenie slowly but surely taxiing to the main platform area. Still has a long way to go. First it needs to get over to the main platform area. Then it has to go around the terminal building towards the southeasterly side of the apron, the main area. Alongside runway 0624 is the cargo apron on the south side of the runway. So it will be a while before it's going to be arriving there, at least 10 to 15 minutes, depending on if it can cross the runway easily or if it has to wait. Indeed, John, no hurry retracting those flaps. Sometimes they keep them down very long. I always wonder, it's just a matter of pulling back a lever. How hard can that be? Same for the spoilers, retracting those. It's a big handle. Indeed, indeed. All right. Let's see. I was zoomed out a little bit on flight radar. This is KLM flight 1164, returning from Bergen. No cabin in the back. Another small spider on my camera. God damn it.
Whoa, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
talking. I'm talking to the small spiders over here.
And they're also really small little, flies. Really small.
Yeah.
Annoying AF.
Yeah. You need wind. If you have wind, they don't bug you that much, but if there's no wind, there's bugs. Two wide bodies in one shot. KLM Flight 765 arriving from Bonaire. Here in the foreground, that's an A330-200, and behind it is Emirates Sky Cargo arriving from Dubai World Center. That's a 777 freighter. Hey Serge, tuning in from Hoofddorp, nearby the backyard of Schiphol. That's a nice way of putting it. KLM Flight 765, here we go, arriving from Bonaire. Bonaire, Nepal. What's with these names? If you need wind, just eat beans and onions, says Liwe. Jeez, why didn't I think of that? That's smart thinking, mate. Beans and onions. What could also help is if they turned on those ventilators, those fans over there, and make them spin a bit faster. That will give some wind. Yeah, the ones on the North Sea are the ones that we need fired up most of all. But those over there can also help. Right, Emirates Sky Cargo up next. Flight 9943, arriving from Dubai World Center. 7 hours precisely on the way. 777 freighter. The Alpha 6 Echo Foxtrot Whiskey. An airplane that is a year old. First flight October 2024, so it will turn 2 in a few months from now. We also have bird control over here coming this way by the looks of it. Are we going to get a match? Drag race? Don't think that the bird control is up for it. Nah, it's retreating. That's a shame. Would have been nice to see a drag race between a car and an airplane. Thank you, Brawl Sam, for the kind words. And Alain, welcome to the show, tuning in from Oslo. Welcome to everybody else who may have joined in the meantime as well. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and we are still here at the Polderbaan, back again for the first time in a long time, here on the regular spot. And to my surprise today, the runway is being used for arrivals. Wind is varying. Though it does seem to have picked up a little over here, the reeds are moving a little, and so too is the scale of chimney smoke. Indicative of moving wind. Maybe somebody ate a can of beans and some onions and has provided some much needed wind. Another airplane. Another glide slope shot over here. The airplane that you see in the background is TAP Air Portugal, flight 668, arriving from Lisbon. And here in the foreground we have a 737 KLM flight 1354, arriving from Prague, which is where Wolfgang is vacationing right now, in the Czech Republic. It's also where the Reticents are living, or at least thereabouts. Not sure if they live in the city exactly or maybe the suburbs, but the bigger Prague area, at least. Don't think we've seen Jan or Simi today, have we? Well, they're always busy, so. Another wide body has appeared behind what is now the next airplane, TAP Air Portugal. It's being followed by KLM Flight 622, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, 777-300ER. And whenever it is dry, you need to drink regularly. Hydration break. I'll pour me a small glass of vodka. Make sure to stay hydrated. Bottoms up. Bird control is coming this way, slowly but surely. K1, Ford Ranger Raptor. And here is TAP Air Portugal. Tap tap. If you're happy and you know it, tap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, tap your hands. Sturdy looking vehicle, says Frank. Indeed it is. Those Ranger Raptors are also the exception to the rule. Most of the vehicles that you see airside with yellow and Schiphol are VWs. Only recently started noticing it, but if you pay attention to it, there's no denying it. Schiphol must have had a good deal with Volkswagen, because the vast majority of the vehicles that you see, the yellow vehicles that are airside at least, are Volkswagens. Roy also back. Good to see you, Roy. Hope all is well, mate. Happy Friday. Caleb Flight 622 arrived from Atlanta, Georgia. 7 hours and 31 minutes and now touching down. Wheelie? Question mark? Nice. Reversers? Obviously not. Idle reverse. The slots are open. I've missed those close-up inspections of flap surfaces, but have a look. The flap surfaces on that car are more shiny. On that triple are cleaner than my car. Yeah. I was just about to say. Another 2 airplane glide slope shot here with EasyJet in the foreground, arriving from Edinburgh in Scotland, and behind it Delta Airlines Flight 164 arriving from Minneapolis. And that's an A330neo. Third airplane is turning in from the right in the background. I'm not sure if we are. Oh yeah, we are able to see it. There it is. That's another EasyJet arriving from Palma de Mallorca by the looks of it. Sorry?
White van.
Oh yeah. White van. Are they doing anything suspiciously? Anything suspicious? Yeah, let's do some counter spying. Guy, 2 kids in front of the bus, and 2 chaps in front of the. Is that an electric vehicle? I think it is. That's an EV. Careful that it doesn't catch fire. Camper in the back, very popular. They're becoming ever more popular here in the Netherlands, campers. Guess PB. Easy PB. Easy PB. Yeah, and once again, it looks like this airplane is crabbing a little bit. It's leaning in against the wind, and the wind seems to be coming from its right to its left. In other words, it's pointing its nose towards us while going to the right of us. It's 12:33, and I'm happy to see that Qatar and Indigo are northeast of Schiphol, because those two are coming this way. Two wide bodies back to back. After this Delta, we're going to get two narrow bodies first, an A320neo and an A321neo by EasyJet and Shamrock, aka Aer Lingus, respectively. Hey, John McKenzie is also back. Good to see you. Jordi, goedemiddag. Jordi is tuning in all the way from Spain. Nice. Hope it's not too warm over there. Pilot is Inspector Crabtree. Good morning. Oh, check it out. Nice high nose. Long wheelie. Give it to us. Boom. Gesundheit. Lucas, goedemiddag. Good afternoon. Good to see you. And welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined in the meantime. You're still watching AMS Live. We're back here at the Polderbaan, which is now open for arrivals as runway 18 right, as only runway, for another 25 minutes. We're waiting for the Emirates A380, which is underway and should be here around 1:20. In other words, another 25 plus 20, 45 minutes. Hey, and there's one of the two wide bodies that I was referring to earlier, turning in the background. I think this is Qatar, the 777 freighter, and it should be followed by Indigo. Iceland Air is also coming, unlike yesterday when it was a Boeing 757 in the old livery. Today, unfortunately, it is a MAX 9 737 in new livery. Boring. No need to get excited about that. Outbound traffic is also passing overhead, but unfortunately the clouds are still so low and still so dense that we are able to hear them but not yet see them. It seems that the airplanes, particularly this one, is crabbing a bit more than airplanes up till now have been doing. So that makes me wonder what the meter is saying with respect to the wind. Let me do a quick update of the meter in the ticker. I'm not going to show you the entire web page, but I am going to renew the ticker with the latest meter, which should be from 10 minutes ago. I'll take you through it when I reload the ticker, which I've done just now. If you look in the ticker, you will see that this is the report from 10:25 Zulu time, which is 12:25 local time. In other words, it's 10 minutes old. Wind is variable in direction, 3 knots. Visibility is 10 kilometers or more, 9999. We have two layers of clouds at 1500 feet. We have few clouds. We have broken clouds at 4000 feet. Temperature is 21 degrees Celsius, roughly 72 Fahrenheit. The dew point is low, which means that the air is dry. 12 degrees is the dew point. The QNH, the air pressure, is 1019 hectopascal. No significant changes in the upcoming 2 hours. Variable wind. Well, over here on the ground, it feels like the wind currently is blowing from the west, and you can also see it by the crabbing that the airplanes are doing. Frank says, filming a crabbing plane is a crab rap. You're absolutely right, mate. Crab rap. Ah, that reminds me. Reminds me of a YouTube channel that was spoofing Telcel ads. The Wraptastic was a device to wrap stuff in. Anyway, it's niche, it's Dutch. Two wide bodies, one shot. Indigo on the left and Qatar on the right. Qatar flight 8207 is arriving from Doha. Qatar cargo. 7 hours and 3 minutes on the way to get here. The Alpha 7 Bravo Foxtrot Bravo BFB. That's a 16-year-old. This machine just hit puberty a few years back and is still in going through puberty. First flight May 2010. Young lads who are not yet in puberty are climbing onto the pipe so that they have a better vantage point. Indigo will be next after this, arriving from Mumbai, 7879 Dreamliner. That's the difference between Qatar and KLM. Using the reversers versus not using the reversers, and look at the flap surfaces and compare that to what we saw on KLM's 777s. Big difference. So the sky is definitely more open now than it was before. Although looking to the southeast, it looks most cloudy. This is looking to the north. Already it has opened up more. Turning to the east, you can see it's also opening up close by, but further towards the horizon. Still a bit more dark, and the same can be said here for the southeast. Closer by, more openings drifting in from the west, and more to the southeast, land inward. It is more dark. Turning the camera to the south, the southwest. And lastly to the west and northwest. Northwest has been most open all throughout the show. I'd like to think that the weather is coming from there, but here on the ground level it seems to be blowing in a different direction. Here we have Indigo. Hey Pate, what up mate? Indigo arriving from Mumbai in India. Operated by Norse. 9 hours and 40 minutes to get here from India. The Lima November Foxtrot November Echo. 8-year-old machine, first flight April 2018. Nose gear not nearly as high as with the A330s. Hardly ever do you see a Dreamliner with such a big pitch up. Not sure if it has to do with the inherent airplane design, and if Dreamliners are designed to make more flatter landings. Hey, Maurice Morhan on land. Oh, quickly getting away from all the two-legged loud creatures. Yeah, it's much safer over there than it was where you were just now. Bird control in the meantime, over there, keeping an eye out on us, but we see it as well. It's K2. They're multiplying. Airplane turning in. Gear is still in, but that is going to change soon. A350 from Thai. This is Thai Airways arriving from Bangkok. That's going to be the second A350 of today's show, isn't it? I think that the Delta was the first one. In the meantime, Icelandair landing over here, but unlike yesterday, it's not that interesting to be looking at. MAX 9 737, new livery. Oh, I'm starting to get bored already describing it. Air Transat in the foreground, A321neo. Behind it, Thai Airways. After that, we're going to get Norwegian, KLM, And I also see KLM Flight 751 arriving. That's arriving from Guayaquil, which is in...
Ecuador!
You got them right. Trying to see if I can spot it. Should be flying behind us. But just like with the orange stripe before it, for some reason it seems to be very hard to see. I think it's because it's relatively far over the Gulf of Yorkshire still. Page wonders where the grass is. Frank answers, all grass was harvested and used in a giant salad. Indeed it was. All the plane spotters were invited for a big, massive feast. One big bowl of salad, and that contained all the grass over here. Very tasty, very fibrous. I've eaten so much salad that now for the remainder of the year I no longer have to eat salads and I can go to McDonald's every week and still have a balanced year. For a moment I thought I was hearing fire trucks, but I'm looking around and I'm not seeing any. Just wishful thinking, I suppose. First vehicle of the day on the cycling path. I have yet to see police or military police. I think this is a cleaning vehicle to clean the bins. Quite remarkable, because normally before the closure of the cycling path I was able to see multiple police forces here. The police, the military police, the KMAR. Now the single police or military police vehicle I have seen today. Interesting. Alright, we have another A350 Thai Airways coming in from Bangkok. Illuminated by the sun temporarily, now no more. 11 hours and 33 minutes on the way. Flight 936. It's the Hotel Sierra Tango Hotel Bravo. 10 years old, first flight July 2016. Let's look and listen. This is going to use its reversers. Polderbaan is very long. Foreign pilots often use the reversers on this runway, regardless of the wind. Let's look and listen. Yep, a little bit. Not full thrust reverse, but just a little bit. Or, yeah, I think so. Hey Wietse, good to see you. Yeah, center is opening up. That's also where I am betting the A380 is going to go to. As I already thought, the vehicle over here is the cleaner, cleaning the bin. Yellow vehicle over there, and that's probably a VW. Hard to see from here. It seems that the vast majority of green airside vehicles of Schiphol are VWs. Norwegian is up next, arriving from Oslo. Jorn Utzon livery, it says in the description, but the picture shown on Flight Radar is showing a blank tail. So, curious to see, will there be a grumpy face on it or not? It's flying in from Oslo. Flight time has been 1 hour and 27 minutes. It's a 737-800. The Lima November Delta Yankee uniform. 15 years old. First flight July 2011. Now, I'm not sure yet about the schedules. Thai seems to be coming in more regularly than Vietnam. Yesterday we saw both. Are we still going to get Vietnam today, or only is it only going to be Thai? As expected, no grumpy faces on the tail of this airplane. Just blankness. two KLMs, one shot. On the left we have KLM Flat 751, which is a Dreamliner. And on the right we have a 737. The 737 is arriving from Copenhagen, which is in Denmark. And the Dreamliner is arriving from Guayaquil, which is in Jorn Utzon is the Invisible Man. Ah, the one that Freddie Mercury was singing about. That was him, wasn't it? It's 12:49. And in 10 or so minutes from now, the parallel arrivals are going to commence. The Emirates A380 is probably half an hour or so out and will be crossing into Dutch airspace pretty soon, which is when we will be able to say with a relative high degree of certainty whether or not it's going to be assigned to the Polderbaan or a different runway. I'm counting on it that it's going to be awarded to the centered runway, which is going to be opening up in minutes from now. Ordinarily, when two runways are open, the traffic from the east goes to the eastmost runway, and in this case that's going to be the centered runway. Next up, KLM Flight 751, arrived from Guayaquil in Ecuador. 7879 Dreamliner, the Papa Hotel, Bravo Hotel Oscar. Underway now for 11 hours and 6 minutes. According to Flight Radar, 5,308 nautical miles it has journeyed. That is as the crows fly. I've seen it that the number was reduced when an airplane from coming in from Brussels was flying on final to the Polderbaan, which means it's technically speaking getting closer to Brussels again. And you could see that the number of nautical miles was decreasing in size. So it means it's as the crows fly. This is an 8-year-old machine. The first flight was in March 2018. Oh? Was that reversers being spooled up here? And is this Karen cabin in a different color than white? What? What's going on here? I'm not used to seeing this and hearing this. Reversers slightly getting spooled up. And what's with the Karen cabin in a different color? First time I'm seeing that on a KLM airplane. I've seen it before on, I think it was United or something, but Karen cabins usually are white. Just like Karen. Interesting. The times are changing, Sander. The times are changing. What will they think of next?
Rainbow.
Rainbow colors. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Karen demanded a new coat of paint, says Paul. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if she did. My Karen cabin is looking nasty, it's white. I want it to be bland and grey. John says, like Karen's, their cabins can't be trusted. You're absolutely right. Can't look away. Have to be on your guard constantly. In the meantime, we have an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Billund, landing here with a white Karen cabin. No complaints about the color on this one yet. But for how much longer? It seems to have text on it. Yeah. Next time, Gadget, next time. KLM, both of them. A321neo in the foreground, arriving from Madrid, KLM 1502, followed by KLM 914, arriving from Aberdeen in Scotland, E2 Embraer. After that, a 737-900, yet again KLM, but the Red Wine Express arriving from Bordeaux. And after that, another 737-900, interestingly two back-to-back 737-900s, or no, I think KLM 1754 is going to be turning in for the center runway. Looking at the time, wouldn't be surprised if KLM 1754 will be the first arrival to the center runway. Pate says, no matter the color, Karen cabins want to speak to your manager. You're absolutely right. If you are a manager, then hide. Don't want to be there when the Karens come asking for you. Here too, a white Karen cabin. Faxi. And still we can see that the acres over there are being watered. The KLMs are coming in. While they're coming in, let us have another look on Flight Radar to see where the A380 currently is at. So it's approaching Dutch airspace. Oh, it's already in Dutch airspace. So we'll probably get an update about center. Yeah, Wietse, already thinking about it. There you go. As expected, going to center. No surprises there with the current ETA. The A380 in Dutch airspace, and having been assigned to the center runway, we can prepare for its arrival, which will be in 20 or so minutes from now. Another E2 Embraer, KLM flight 914, arriving from Aberdeen in Scotland. Let's see, flight time has been 1 hour and 7 minutes. I think that's pretty nominal. Still waiting for the first officer wave. I think the chaps aren't used to seeing people next to the runway anymore. They're all looking in front of them stoically. I think I hear another airplane approaching that just took off, and I'm wondering... Yeah, we're still not able to see it. Doesn't sound like it's... Oh yeah, there it is. It's looking like an Embraer. That's the silver lining of the sky opening up here. We are able to see more traffic overhead, including any airplanes that are producing contrails. Though granted, I haven't seen many of them yet in the sparse openings that have been here. Bernd, guten Tag. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Happy Friday. And the KLM 737 slowly drifting in. This is the Red Wine Express, arriving from Bordeaux in France. No Karen cabin. Just take a bottle of wine and shut up. Just sit with the rest. Drink your wine and shut up. That's probably what they'll have said to Karens on board that plane. Here's a bottle of red. Now shut the F up. Right, the sun is starting to shine over here. And we're waiting for the next arrival. Yet another KLM 737-900. Arriving from Hamburg with hamburgers. Flight time has been 43 minutes thus far. The Papa Hotel, Bravo, X-Ray, Papa. It's a 24-year-old machine. First flight was in August 2001. After that, we are going to get LOT with an Embraer 195. Always a lot to see at Schiphol. Here it is. We can already see it's looking polished. Now, there is a MEA flight from Beirut, which is turning final for the center runway, an A320. Interesting. Mea culpa. Again, it's coming and going of multiple people here. You can already see they're sitting in the sand over here and still walking up here. Obviously, me and Sander are here as well. Sander now having to sit on his jacket because of the faulty seat, which is still a remnant of the earth-shaking event that took place here earlier in the show. More people over there, and yet more people walking further north. It is a typical day again here at the Polderbaan. The sun is shining and quite a few people. At Schiphol there's always a lot to see. This is flight 263 arriving from Warsaw. An Embraer 195, not an E2 Embraer 195, but a quote-unquote regular Embraer 195. It does have a sticker of sorts at the back. It isn't mentioned on Flight Radar what it is, but it's probably promotion for one of their more touristy areas. Is this Matsuri or Warmia or... Yeah, Warmia Matsuri. That's the northeast of the country. If you like nature, absolutely a must-see. Sort of a lake district with lots of pine woods. I saw pictures of it once in a Dutch TV program. And even though I haven't been there, it somehow gave the impression that it was a bit Canadian. Like how in Canada you also have areas with lakes and with pine tree forests. Insofar as that is actually true and not a stereotype, it reminded me of that. It was gorgeous to see. And this is MEA arriving from Beirut. So Syrian. Howdy Davey. Davey asks, what did I miss? You missed Sander Sake falling onto the ground. That was quite an event. You missed the earth shaking. you missed two 747s, you missed Transavia Retro, you missed the Orange Pride, but you are still in time for the Emirates A380. Cedar tree. MEA. Cedar tree. Do pine trees carry pineapples? That would be something, wouldn't it? Right, it's back to all the narrow bodies, just like earlier. KLM flight 1076 arriving from Bristol up first. Over here, that's an Embraer 175. Following it to the center runway is KLM flight 1800, which is an Embraer 190 coming in from Düsseldorf. Another mammal just passing by. A middle-aged man in lycra on a racing bicycle. Oh, Beirut is Lebanon. There you go. Michael DCA has to go. Thanks for stopping by, mate. See you again in the next one. Two airplanes on the glide slope over here with, in the background, KLM Flight 760 arriving from San Jose. That is a 777. In the foreground, Ryanair Flight 3006 arriving from Dublin in Ireland. What were you taking a picture of?
Oh no, just looking.
Ah, okay. Thought there was an interesting bird or something. Sander was pointing his camera behind us, so I was looking around to see where he could have been pointing his camera to. Didn't see anything in particular that could have struck his attention, so I was wondering. Alright, Ryanair Flight 3006 arriving from Dublin in Ireland. Yesterday, Ryanair came in with a very Ryanair-esque landing. How will they do today? It's already looking very controlled. Oh, this isn't the Ryanair that we have come to know. But this does sound like it. Even though the landing wasn't nearly as bumpy as we, well, at least as the reputation of Ryanair would make you think or would make you expect. They did use the reversers like they often do. They don't always use them, but they do so regularly. To my surprise. There's Gary Grebe, wishy-washy cleaning, personal hygiene, very important. Have a look. That's how you do it. Coming in next to the Polderbaan itself is a 777 arriving from San Jose. KLM Flight 760 arriving after nearly 10 hours precisely underway. Pilot is auditioning for KLM, says Davey. That may well be the case. Look at me. I can fly decently. In fact, all Ryanair planes function as a test bed for gear suspension, says Frank. On some occasions, I think you're right. On some occasions, I think they're not committing to the testing. They're not always committing to the testing. Oh? Is the pilot flying, applying for a job at Ryanair? Using reversers and all. Or Delta, yeah. That seems even more plausible. Right, I do see a control remnant over there, and the airplane producing it is still flying there. Still reasonably far away. It's only going to get even further away. All I can see is that it is a twin jet. Let's see, where is the A380? A380 is approaching Purmerend, so I am Going to point the camera in this direction already. The scale of chimney smoke chimneys. That is basically where permanent is if you look at it from here. It's approaching permanent, so I'm thinking if we are able to see the A380, then it should be somewhere to the right of the scale of chimney smoke chimneys. I do fear that the A380 currently is still so high that the clouds are probably blocking our view. Let's have a quick look. It's currently flying at 4,500 feet and is descending. Now flying in the vicinity of permanent, so it should be in the vicinity of the scale of chimney smoke chimneys. Also, as it continues to descend, it should become visible more readily. Still not seeing anything. I am hearing an ambulance that's driving along the what is it? 205 this is, I think. Provincial road. With the ambient microphone pointing in the other direction, I'm not sure that you're able to hear it. Over here, standing here, you are able to hear it. Yeah, sometimes you're lucky and you immediately see the airplane you're looking for, and other times you continuously keep on looking without ever finding it. The A380 on its way to the center runway on what could be considered to be an extended base leg. Now looking more in the direction of the sugar factory and even more to the left already. Something we've done so often. Scanning the sky, looking for the flying bathtub. Trying to catch it. It's one of those days that the clouds are most likely not helping. Even though on paper it should be a quite easy to spot airplane. It's turning final. Let's see, glide slope for the Polderbaan is over there. Sander also nothing yet. We're both looking. We're both looking but not seeing anything yet. So the Emirates A380 should be on final now. I've got it. If you look at the airplane that is arriving to the Polderbaan, you have to look at the 2 o'clock, but pretty far to the right of it. Right, we've got a visual on the Emirates A380. Emirates Flight 147, the gear is still up. It's going to be extending pretty soon. 7 hours and 13 minutes on the way now. There it is, the gear is out, or at least it's starting to get out. It's starting to extend. Outer main gear comes out first. Once that locks in place, the inner main gear comes out next. Once those are locked in place, the hatches will close again. There you go. Emirates Flight 147, arriving from Dubai. This is the Alpha 6 Echo Echo Quebec. 12-year-old machine, first flight October 2013. 7 hours and 13 minutes on the way. So they are taking longer now than they used to do before. It used to be 6.5 hours, and now they're taking a longer route, more elaborate. 7 hours, 7 to 7.5 hours is what they are currently averaging these days. Looking around, it's all narrow bodies if you look on flight radar.
Hey boy.
Hey, goeiedag.
Goeiedag. Ik zag net een, hoe heet het? Een reiger. Een,
Reiger.
ja.
Harry Heron.
Ja, zeker, zeker. Ik zat helemaal stil in het gras en dacht, hey, mooi foto.
Even een foto maken. Maar met die lens moet dat ook wel lukken, denk ik.
Zeker, zeker.
Wat voor lens is dat?
100 tot 400.
100 tot 400.
1.6 crop.
Oh, nice. Ja, dat is niet anders. Als die zo laat binnenkomt, dan gaat hij naar center.
Ja.
Zonnetje schijnt wel mooi nu. The sun is nicely illuminating the A380, even though it is a pity that it's going to the center. Wrong way it is, at least now nicely illuminated. We should also be able to hear it quite well when it starts spooling up the reversers upon touchdown. With a slight delay. Obviously the sound has to travel a few kilometers to get here. But we'll almost certainly be able to hear it. Little to no wind, so the sound of the reversers ought to carry quite nicely to us. Alright, the beast of from the east has landed. Let's listen for the reversers. Provided that they are deployed. Which they don't seem to be today. Because otherwise we would have certainly heard it by now. Yeah, so the A380 has landed, ladies and gentlemen. On that bombshell, I think it is time to end. Looking at flight radar, it's mostly narrow bodies for the time being. Boring. I'm going to wrap up and hopefully be back again sometime soon. A massive big thanks to all of you for joining me here today. I had a great time and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Massive big thanks to everybody who joined, and in particular Sander Sake. Thanks for joining again as ground crew. Was weer gezellig. Hopefully next time with a more yet again a more sturdy chair. Massive big thanks to everybody at home for joining. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to leave a like on your way out if you haven't done so already. Thanks for all the support, for the super chats, the super stickers, and gifted memberships and whatnot. If you received a gifted membership, don't forget to thank the gifter if you haven't already. Use a custom emoji as a way to say thanks. Mods, thank you too for keeping the chat friendly and accessible once again. Looking forward to seeing you all in the next one. For now, I'm saying peace, take care, stay healthy, and see you soon. Bye for now.